Okay. I heard side quests are happening.
Finest wares and cool tierage right here.
We really appreciate you saving our skins. All that curse battling must have left you famished, though. Care for some sausages? Not yours.
Travel safely now.
I hate to ask, would you be willing to help with another matter? Even before the curse struck, our shipments from Carver's Harbor started slowing down. If we don't get them sausages, I won't be able to feed my family. Keep an honest sausage merchant out. Carver's Harbor's just down the road.
Appreciate your patronage.
Sure.
Mainlander, eh?
Please, you've got to help. My grandson got lost to the caves to the north, and I'm afraid the trogs might have got him. My husband went after him, but he's getting on in years, and I fear he imagines himself tougher than he really is. Could you help him? Sure.
May blight fall upon the coven.
The what? Do I want to know? I don't want to know, do I? Okay, let's just move on. How are you doing, buddy? You alright?
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
Okay. You got it. Well, let's go fight a, Earth Elemental? I'm not sure what to call that thing. Oh, he hurts. Oh, he hurts. Okay. So, my Dire Beast ability calls an animal relative to the region I'm in. Each region has its own animals that can show up for that. I just summoned 2 cursed pigs to help with that fight. I feel vaguely wrong about doing that.
What brings you to Fallhaven?
I don't know. Yeah, let's go this way.
Don't get many travelers
I'm
here.
not lost. My grandson and his friends ran off. I've been looking for them. Wanted to get there before the trogs did.
This land is cursed.
Thank the light. I was taking my grandson and his friends and told them to play quietly while I took a nap. When I woke, they'd left a note saying they were going on an expedition. They think they'll find Titan relics in trog caverns. They're too young to fight trogs, and I'm too old. My bad knee almost gave out just getting here. You look strapping. Find my grandson and the rest of the Adventurers Society and send them home.
May blight fall upon the coven.
These trogs are a menace to the whole area. They raid camps and caravans and eat livestock when they come up from the caves. Slay some of the trogs before they decide to start trouble.
Even rotten crops regrow.
Damn right, we have to kill all the trogs. I mean, does anybody really like trogs? Like, if they made a trog playable, would anyone actually roll one? I'm not sure, Master. Sorry, rearranging my talents really quick. There we go, much better. Wanted my second charge of kill shot, among other things. I also want to start summoning ravens on enemies. If I have to explain why, then you haven't been paying attention to the environs. I mean, from BFA onwards, they've really started going hog wild on the random, rare, gimmicky mounts. I will admit, there are dozens, if not, like, into the 100 range of mounts, just in Shadowlands that I never got. No, it's a PS2 game, flipped it all. That's technically a double joke. The second layer is, wait, these two games can't have environments? This is so much smoother. Oh, yeah. I needed that extra charge. I completely freed up my rotation. Yeah, I haven't even bothered to start grinding the beam out, and honestly, I'm not sure I will. I've had my fill of grind. Beginner's Guide to Archaeology by Braun Bronzebeard, 3rd edition. Is it a rock? How to Identify Relics by H. Jones. Forward by Sir Finley. Okay, so obviously that's Harrison Jones. But for those of you who don't know where, Sir Finley was actually a character I believe originated over in Hearthstone. He is a Murloc. He is a Murloc archaeologist. For those of you who don't know where, Hearthstone is canon to Warcraft. To explain that a little bit, the game of Hearthstone exists within Warcraft, so any lore characters from Hearthstone obviously thus exist within Warcraft, the setting. We'll meet... Oh, you jackass. We'll meet Finley later. There we go. See, just summoning ravens on my enemies. Like you do. Remember the crows. That doesn't matter. Blackbirds of Death. What are you doing up here, kid?
Which side is starboard again? Anchors away!
Hey, you found us stuff.
Steer clear of...
Nigel's grandpa's nice and all, but he just slowed us down. Adventure, fortune, fame awaited. Maybe we should have brought a weapon or something, though.
Bye! Stay warm!
You look like you've been in a fight. Did you introduce those trogs to the business end of your weapon? That's what I would have done. Give them a good right hook, and then a left. Pow! Bam! I bet they're sorry worrying for you. Or messing with you.
Winds be calm!
My friends and I want to be explorers, so we made the Society. There are trogs here, right? So that means there's probably ancient stuff nearby. The books say trogs like shiny things. We pooled our allowance and gave them gold so we could dig. It didn't work like we expected. I escaped, but they've got my friends. We're trying to think how we could get them out. Could you do it? We'll include you in our exploration report as an honorary member.
Stay warm!
Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's gone forever and is never coming back. Fun Falkenstein. Ever, ever, ever. Oh god, I'm ready, Ross. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm not ready. The discarded paper contains a list of the items of the Adventure Society had found. It's unlikely they found relics, but there's no harm in recovering the items. At least they're souvenirs. Sure. The Shamrock Shake. I don't know what that music is, but it's supposed to be celebratory, so we're just going to take it as celebratory. Hey, it's ancient potsherds. It's actually a broken pot from a ransacked Kulturan campsite. Could you guys piss off for 5 seconds so I can loot, please? Jesus. Genuine Titan Disc. It's a rock. Whoops, I accidentally summoned a bone skeleton. A bone skeleton? A skeleton spider? Bone spider? We'll go with bone spider. That works. Hurting. Excellent. Get out of here, kid. Okay. The kid's actually throwing rocks at them. Oh my god. Kid. Kid. Hey. Get out of here. She says, thank you. I was running out of rocks up here. Yeah, that's a threat. I'm just depopulating these people. Good lord. Although, do trogs count as people? I'm not actually sure. Yeah, that was Drustvar. Who knew trogs could use magic? Wait, trogs can use magic? That... That's what we in the business refer to as sus. Let's get that last ancient treasure. A relic of the makers. It isn't Titan forged. It's not Kultiran either. Interesting.
Do I sound like a pirate?
Yes. You saved my friends. I mean, they probably would have escaped on their own, but it was nice you could distract the trogs for them.
Anchors away!
You're
Steer
welcome.
clear of sirens! Bye!
Isn't our stuff neat? We found real relics. I bet Bronzebeard will be impressed. I'm gonna write to him once we get back home.
Winds be kind!
It's everyone but Nigel. He's in the big cave. I bet he went up there to look for relics, but now he's tied up. Would you save him too?
Bye!
Okay. I love that sound effect. You doing another kid there, kiddo? I'm gonna assume that's a yes. Nigel, there you are.
Mainlander, eh?
Thank you for saving my grandson and his friends. I'm sure they'll make fine explorers with their adults, which will be about the time when they are no longer grounded.
They blight fall upon the coven.
You kids know you're not supposed to sneak out. Yes, Gramps. Yes, Gramps. Yes, sir. You're all grounded for 2 months. Jesus. Oh, come on, Gramps. Aw. But we're explorers. Keep that up, and I'll make it 3 months. You're lucky Xylom happened along and was able to save you. I mean, yes, they were actually extremely lucky. They're all going to die. I have played WoW 1.0. Or rather, that's actually complicated, but I have played WoW at launch and before launch. I have played STO before launch and at launch. And I have played Tor before launch and at launch. Just to simplify those answers. How bad were they? They're pretty bad. Of those, I would say STO is probably the worst. Followed by WoW, followed by Tor. Tor at launch was rough. pretty rough. Pretty rough. I remember the pink textured bug, which was really, really common. Among other things. And oh my god, the servers could not handle it at all.
Don't get many travelers here.
Well, thank the light someone came. I can't save this myself.
Even rotten crops we grow.
This is going to sound strange, Hunter, but some of my workers were turned into pigs. Okay, I was on an errand. I've been caught too. Now my people are tied up awaiting processing. He resists the urge to retch. I can't get past those monsters, but you look like someone who could. Not sure if this helps, but I could have sworn I heard some wild cackling coming from the warehouse. Please save my people.
This land is cursed.
Wolves with strange glowing eyes have taken over the area. I don't know what they are or why they're glowing, but it can't mean anything good. Please, kill them before any of my friends are killed.
Even rotten crops we grow.
Roland Hacksaw was the best butcher I've ever worked with, but he's gone insane. He's still processing pigs into sausage. You've got to stop him. Okay.
This land is cursed.
I can do that. Okay. So, the reason I put Tor at the top of that list is, as Blade Tavel just put it out, it was still Tor Vanilla, aka the best of Tor. For all its many hassles and its massively net negative gameplay score, Tor Vanilla still was Tor Vanilla. Now, you've probably heard me tell this story, but the very first thing I played in Tor Vanilla was actually a trooper. Great introduction. Uh-oh. We're about to be visited by someone. I'm not sure who. Because they changed how the pet AI worked back in Pandaria or Warlords, I forget which, and made it objectively worse. So, nowadays, there's, let's see here. There's assist, defensive, and passive. There it is. Passive is exactly what it sounds like. You have to manually order them to do something. Assist, which is the correct choice, is what you use for roaming around. But the problem with assist is they only follow you. In other words, if you're under attack, they go, nope. Assist used to mean that if you were under attack, they would then attack back. Except it was called something else back then. Technically, I could macro them up and put them on defensive. I haven't cared enough to bother. The ground combat from STO is the best vanilla of the three. No, that would still be WoW, despite everything. And yes, I do remember when we could actually cosmeticize our weapons. Rainbow builds originated from that, if I'm remembering correctly. Be free, little piggy. But yeah, there's a reason I put Tor Vanilla, despite all its many, many problems at the top of the heap. But FF11 Vanilla. So I've actually talked about this before. I made an attempt to play FF11 Vanilla. An attempt which I failed at. From what I understand, it is not as much of an impediment as it used to be. But when FF11 came out, you could not make characters on the same servers as your friends. The only way to do so would be to hop on a server and either pray for random chance, which is exactly what it sounds like, or to get on a server, spend a substantial amount of time and effort alone, grinding up a non-insubstantial gold for a brand new character, at least at launch. And then once you've successfully managed that, buying a server pass so they could then make a new character on your server. That was that. That sucked. So I never actually got anywhere with FF11 the first time I tried to do it. The second time I tried to play FF11, me and Pax actually said, this is years later, we managed to get to the first dungeon outside of Windhurst. We reverse engineered what it is. I don't remember right now. And we're like, yep, that's a wall. We cannot two-man this. And we gave up. And that was the last time I've ever played FF11. I've heard some people say it's unfair of me to criticize FF11 because of how little experience I have with it. But it's hard to admit, any validity behind that argument. When I have made 2 solid efforts to play the game, which have failed because of the game. Nevertheless, you should totally play it, Magister. There's so many wolves. Why are there so many wolves? Hang on a second. So apparently the assist command was added in Kata, patch 4.2. What's strange, though, is the assist stance was supposed to include the defensive stance. When did they break that? At launch, apparently it also included defense. That's strange, cardboard.
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
Okay, so we save the pigs.
May blight fall upon the coven.
Kill the
Even
wolves.
rotten crops regrow.
He was very good with his work, one of the finest butchers in Drustvar. It's a shame his talents were put to such horrible use. Yeah.
This land is cursed.
Removing the pig fetish didn't break the curse? Damn, I'll have to try something else.
May blight fall upon
The
the
foul thing has to be what's keeping my men transformed into pigs. Wasn't too much I can't withstand a good cleansing. I say we burn it.
Even rotten crops regrow.
Okay. Into the fire. It looks like it worked.
Mainlander, eh?
You did it! The spell's broken, my men are back to normal.
Don't get many
Well,
travelers
they're alive,
here.
at least. Mostly. Now we can get back to normal, Roger. If you see Elijah, tell him he'll get his sausages soon.
This land is cursed.
Are you going to check which sausages are made with what? Asking for a friend. So, we're not doing bonus quests, obviously, but my favorite bonus quest is that one that just popped up. You probably couldn't tell, but the name of this bonus quest is Nope. The quest is to kill a bunch of spiders and spider eggs.
You mind your business. and I'll mind
Mainlander?
mine.
I'm called Tyrion. Stop a moment, I could really use your hand. My team and I were hunting in the ruins of Golkaval when the stones began to attack us. Never seen anything like it. Ranger Juan sent Duke and I to get some medical supplies. Duke didn't get hit by those poison stone monsters, but he wasn't as fortunate with the spiders. He'll be okay once he rests for a while. If my team needs the supplies, please take these to Ranger Juan's.
This land is cursed.
Well, this is clearly not what you're referencing, because that's a Arathi. You know what the pet name is, Magister? There it is. I apparently didn't get this either.
Mainlander, eh?
Rebecca sent you. Bless that girl. You've come just in time.
Even rotten crops regrow.
We've barely holding off these monsters here. If it hadn't been for the Thorn Speakers, we'd be as sure as dead. I was worried Rebecca hadn't made it. You brought Rebecca supplies just in time. We have mainly injured out in the field. Thorn Speaker, Ranger, and Companion alike. I'll hold the line. What's a Thorn Speaker?
May blight fall upon the coven.
The living rocks weren't bad enough. The undead are hauling themselves out of the ground, too. This used to be a Drust settlement, so there's probably Drust bones. They hated us then, and are definitely feeling as mutual right now. I don't know what stirred them up, but if they're a danger to us and everyone else, take them out. I'll reward you for the work.
Even rotten crops regrow.
Be wary of unfamiliar faces.
My mentor sensed the activation of ancient powers here. We came to stop them, but we're too late. We banded together with the Rangers for mutual protection, but our task remains unfinished. There's a set of ancient cairns here. These help empower the Drust constructs. Destroying them will also help settle the undead stirring from the land. Destroy the cairns, and we'll be able to bring sanity to this place.
Dabble not in the affairs of witches. Steady on ahead.
The Drust constructs are drawn from the land, but the heart of these constructs is a runic power core. We've been trying to collect and destroy as many of these cores as we can. We know of a way to disrupt the magic in the core, and doing so will prevent more of the monstrosities from being created. Bring me as many of them as you could find. We'll put them to good use.
Dabble not in the affairs of witches.
Oh, excuse me. Possibly cardboard? I know there's the raptor over in Zuldazar. I feel like there's one in Voldoon as well. Don't worry, I'll help. God. You know, it's interesting. While BFA definitely has higher quality voice acting, it also definitely has less of it. I wonder how connected those two facts are. Because they could be completely coincidental, I don't know. Legion had a lot of voice acting. Apparently I'm wrong. I thought there was one in Zuldazar. I know the Storm Song, but that's the B, right? Oh, excuse me. Drustvar is the mule. Voldoon, I'm not sure what that is. What's the... the Nazmir one's that frickin' tick, isn't it? Ugh. I'd ride that if I had a chance to. Wait, is it Dolly or Dot, Magister? We didn't expect the dead to walk. Yeah, I guess you don't have a lot of experience with, you know, the Scourge since you were out here. Sitting out the Third War for the most part. There's a wild thought. Oh, there was the Triceratops. I don't know if that counts, though. Pretty sure I have that one. Oh, it's a horse. I'm telling you, they got mount happy after a certain point in time. They're still mount happy. I mean, I'm pretty proud of my 565 mounts. And there's just all the other, like, I don't know, 500 or so. Which I do not have, and probably never will. Like this thing. This doesn't exist. This is a lie. That's pretty gross. What the hell? Oh my god. Ah. Anyways. Hey, Mr. Floyd. The only super rare drop mounts that I still want that I don't have, that I am going to make an actual effort to get, might be a better way to phrase that, is the one in Ulduar, and the one off of Dragon Soul. The Ulduar one is just personal vengeance at this point. That mount has not dropped for me from literal years of farming it. As for the other one, it irritates me that I have every mount in that achievement except that one. That's true, Linerith. There's a lot of infectious things, including the plague, but not by biting. You can get other things from being bit. Hello. Hey, Mainlander. I know I'm supposed to be knocking over cairns and hauling off lost strangers, but see the massive stone monster? Do you think it's going to be a problem? You look like you know how to hand yourself. Do you think we can take it down? Sure. Let's go, Mr. Druid and or Mrs. Druid. Done deal. Crumbled before I might. I'm going to sneak back and tell Birchwood. See you there. Sure, sure. You always kill the necro first. Or the priest. Pretty much all the support, really. What, you mean this thing? I mean, this is a little bit different, but the main way it's different is the new filters here. And this thing. They solidified a lot of what these specific things are, and they added this entire screen, which you'll notice also allows you to highlight which ones of that are in a specific area. Yeah, they also added the locked quest symbol. Forgot about that. I can't show you that right now, but it exists. Nope, that's a revamp from this expansion, the very one we're staring at. Most recent patch, I believe. This is one of the last one. Let's do that. So I pushed down on the wrong thing. There we go. No, the actual specific thing you're thinking of from BFA is this. The chapter thing and the campaign progress thing. This was BFA's addition to the formula. And this thing here.
State your business.
I appreciate how they occasionally backport stuff. Like Pandaria has a lot of these changes too. Warlords, but Pandaria.
Steady on ahead.
Suppose I'm not really surprised Arthur didn't exactly follow orders, but I don't think I can complain with the results. Thanks for making sure he wasn't in totally over his head.
Be wary of unfamiliar faces.
Arthur, what have I told you about rushing headlong into things? Oh, come on, things turned out well. The Mainlander and I took down that big rock monster and lived. That's a win.
Dabble not in the affair.
You had orders to topple cairns. I toppled stones. Very angry stones. Arthur.
Don't get many travelers here. This land is cursed. Even rotten crops regrow.
My teacher, Ulfar the Highthorn Speaker, must be informed of what's going on here. I can't leave just yet. There's too many wounded and we need to handle the last few constructs. You've proven trustworthy. Take these gauls to Ulfar for me.
Be wary of unfamiliar faces.
I love that quest name. Nope. Let's just go here. Let's go. I'm ready. You don't like the Drust stag? What did you like about it? The leaves growing into bark-looking bone? Or the glowing eyes? Ulfar can be a hard teacher, but he's fair. He and the others have been guiding me since I heard the calling when I was little. My parents wanted me to be in the Navy. Can you imagine that? I can't. I'm too rooted. Get it? Okay, that's pretty bad. Anyway, we're here. Special delivery for you, sir. Blah. So yes, these are the Kultiran Druids.
There is a rhythm to life. Can you feel it?
No. Who are you? I am Ulfar, last of the Drust Thorn Speakers, and my teacher over my students. One day my task will be over, and I will return to the earth, and a new High Thornspeak will arise to lead, as is the proper way of things. But that time has not come yet. Are you druids? We are. We are guardians of the balance in nature, keepers of the cycle. Life is a part of nature, as is death. I mean, if you're a Drust, wasn't there a war against them? Indeed I am. Get a nice shot of him there. Not all of my people agreed with the conflict. You ever seen division amongst your own? No, never. We Thornspeakers joined the Kultiran Society. Some of their descendants heard the call of the wilds and wished to learn the ancient ways, and so we have taught them. Okay. Oh my god. If you're a hunter, you could say, I've seen... Hang on. If you're a hunter, you could say, I've seen some animals that look like they're part plant. Can you tell me about them? I suppose you're seeking a new pet. The magic of this place is deep and profound. It has come to inhabit some of the animals of the region. They are powerful manifestations of nature to be respected. So pets.
Be wary of the woods.
Ah, I see. My students met with much stronger threats than expected. Thank you for helping them.
Maintain the balance.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ulfar is a Vrykul. What's interesting is because of how they are, they tend to just stay in shape form, like for extended periods of time, which is interesting. So the religion of the Thorn Speakers is the same of the Gilnean witches and the Harvest witches. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I forget what the real-life terminology for that is, but it's effectively same concept, different denomination, I believe is the term. I mean, they're both heavily druidic. Can I help you? Hello?
Mainlander, eh?
Spirits in the cemetery are all riled up. I'd ask him direct, but I don't have any of the necessary salve to commune with the dead. My family's been making it for ages. The herbs and tools I used to make are inside, but I can't get over there. Some of the spirits are beyond reason and attack me on sight. Why did you collect the herbs? Ask one of the calmer spirits what's going on.
May blight fall upon the coven.
Sure. I'll go ask some dead what's going on. Hey! Sup? What's the issue? And yes, for reasons best left to the imagination, they decided to have the Drust be involved in Shadowlands because... Ugh. No, not the... Okay, so we're running into some terminology problems here, Mr. Floyd. So the Druids over there, who venerate the land and the world and seek very much the balance between life and death and nature, and call themselves as an in-between between life and death, as a part of the natural cycle, are very clearly Druids, like the guy I just rode to get up to the bear, and the bear guy I just talked to. You're probably thinking of the guys we'll be fighting in the upcoming dungeon. No, not her. BFA, dungeons. You're probably thinking these people. And, ironically, we haven't really met them yet. We've only met one of them, and it was kind of incidental during another quest. Those guys, I'm kind of holding off, because we haven't really met them yet. All we know right now is there's some kind of coven, there's some kind of witches, and the name Gorak Tool. I guess that's the loose logic of why the assholes are actually present in Shadowlands. They're connected to death, therefore they're in the afterlife. Sure. Let's shrug. Yeah, I'm almost positive that the Horde invasion quest chain for Drustvar involves just kind of killing whatever you find around here. So, I have a phrase, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton, which I can automatically tell you don't know about, because I talk about it constantly and you just referenced it without actually referencing it. I call it Pa Dukat. So, the moment the Pa raids got involved, it is my assertion that Dukat had already died, that he was functionally a different person. Now, that's mostly an out-of-character assertion, not an in-character one. Problem was, Mark Alema was an extremely charismatic actor, who knew what he was doing and how to do it. He also had a decent amount of input on his character, and several of the writers in the writings room all disagreed with what kind of character he should be. I mean, you may or may not be aware of this, but at one point in time they're actually considering shipping Kira and Dukat. Now, you don't do that with someone who's supposed to be the central villain of your story. My god, the name of that raven is Nevermore. So, at a certain point in DS9's overall arc, they decided to course correct and make it very, very clear that Gul Dukat is the central villain of the entire series. Which is how it was always intended to be, which is, of course, bullcrap. Where in the world? Do I have to kill the... Fine, fine, just die. Just die. Just die. So, yeah, they concluded Dukat's story, and they did, firmly and functionally conclude his story. Twice, actually. And then they decided to have him possessed by the Pirate so he could be the metaphorical devil of the end of the series. Enter Pa Dukat. Okay. There's a lot of dead people roaming around here. Which contradicts Shadowlands.
My blade is ready.
Stranger, lend me your aid. I'm ensnared by the witch foul magic. I don't know how much longer I can resist. Destroy the circle of binding me. A witch has infested this goodly place with her foul power. Stranger, you've proven yourself a friend. Maybe you will be our salvation.
The only good witch.
In life, my compatriots and I were valiant champions, as you are. In death, we are potent souls to make the witch's accursed minions even more powerful. With your help, I have resisted thus far, but her foul witch pulled brave Bridget from her justly won rest. She is now trapped in one of those macabre constructs. This witch intends to use Bridget to bring death upon the land she swore to protect. Free Bridget Fairwater's soul from the construct which entraps her.
Glory to House Waycrest.
I can do that. So, yeah, you see why I completely just differentiate Pa Dukat and Gul Dukat. Because both in-universe and out, they are different characters. You're welcome.
Lord Admiral's favour, friend.
Why, that pestilent boil in a toad's rump. Use me as a pawn. Fie! I'll see her sent screaming from the foul pit she spawned from. My thanks. The witch will pay for her heinous
Smooth
actions.
sailing.
Our loathsome false sister, Westwood, yet continues her work. After subjugating myself, she sent her malicious sights on my companion, fair Mercy. Of us three, Mercy was most kind and possessing of uncommon inner strength. But I fear for her. Corrupting such a soul would make for a fearsome creature indeed. Stop the vile ritual before Mercy is slain. Allow the dead their rest. Slay Sister Westwood and free us from her grasp.
Safe passage to you.
Okay. I have no idea how well Waltz will score when we get there. The score is different from personal preference. Although we will not be watching Hard Time this time around. One of the few skip episodes. So yeah, these jackasses, the Coven, they're necromancers, straight up. Like, what they're doing is directly death magic. And we'll be seeing more of them in Shadowlands.
State your business.
Our thanks to you, brave champion. You have freed us from the witch's vile influence and stopped her corruption from spreading. Our very souls have been saved by thy actions. Now we may rest.
Glory to House Waycrest.
We are gladdened to see there are still champions such as you. If you happen across more foul witches, give them a good righteous punch in the face for me, champion. Okay. I think I could manage that. Yeah, let's go with those two. We will probably watch Course Oblivion, yes. So I think that's all the major side quests for the immediacy, other than one.
Lucille Waycrest, you stand accused of practicing witchcraft and of inflicting a curse upon the village of Fletcher's Hollow. You will be hereby tried for...
Constable! A stranger approaches!
With a really big gun.
I loathe interruptions. What is your business here, Mainlander?
Oh yeah, I have a very big gun. That's my business here.
Yes?
I assume you have a reason for interrupting this trial.
On with the execution. A trial! I mean, trial!
Wow. So you wish to speak to the accused? I see no reason why not. Be quick about it, though. We'll not have our trial delayed. This woman will answer for the fate of our village.
Look! Riders approaching from the woods!
More interruptions! What is it this time?
Constable Framer, I order you to release the Lady Waycrest into my custody.
Miss Waycrest stands accused of witchcraft. We will not turn her over unless she is absolved of this crime.
There is no time to argue. If you refuse to stand aside, we'll take her by force.
You will do no such thing, Marshal. I order you to stand down.
Yes, that's Logain.
Greetings, Outlander.
So, I'm here to rescue you. Rescue? You plan on cutting down the villagers to free me as well? No, if you wish to help, you'll need to help with the Marshal. While their executions are misplaced, these are still my people, and I will have them harmed to save me some discomfort. I'll let them have their trial and prove my innocence. However, I fear the Marshal may take matters into his own hands. I'm a bit tied up here. See if you can convince him to let the trial run its course.
Glory to House Waycrest.
Oh, he does a great job of the Marshal here. Speaking of which, hi, Logain.
We must act with haste.
So Lady Waycrest has asked you to convince me to let her stand trial? I think she underestimates the danger of the situation.
The Coven will fall beneath my blade.
Sooner I can return Lady Waycrest to High Road Gate, the better, but I will honor her wishes if we can guarantee your safety. There are dark things happening in these lands that you don't fully understand. If we must dally, then there are measures that need to be taken. First, the wildlife here can serve as eyes to the dark powers. Kill them.
I am sworn to protect.
There's more to worry about in these woods than simple beasts. Our enemy employs constructs of wicker and bone that can rip a man apart. Fortunately for us, these constructs can operate perceptive. Take these traps. Set them throughout the woods behind us. If our enemy seek to ambush us here, at least this will slow their down.
We must remain vigilant.
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
Okay. Yeah, I remember doing a lot of this for the first time and just being like, damn. Fun place. I mean, she flat out just said, please do not rescue me from these moronic ignorami. They are still my people, and I still want to defend them. That's some balls right there. Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. What do you mean? Don't you see my little cursed pig right there? Who's a good cursed pig? Oh, no, he's gone. What about my cursed wolf? He's going to go in a second, too. You know, that's a good point, Asmirostar. We may not be ending the monarchy, but we're certainly helping to improve situation in Kulturas, which is funny because we do the exact same thing in Zuldazar. We only have to capture them once from Falkenstein. There's actually another pet I've been keeping an eye out for that I kind of want to get for this character. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Talanji's interesting of the group. She's probably the closest to villainous of the major leaders. But, like, intelligent villainous, you know? More pragmatic than malevolent or malicious.
We must drive out the darkness.
Beast in sight. Good. Those of this land must not find us here in the open.
Glory to House Waycrest. We must have bought us some time, Mainlander. Let's just hope that these villagers truly mean no harm to the Lady Waycrest. Constable, you may continue this trial.
At last, let's get on with it. Has Miss Waycrest determined how she wishes to be tested?
You mean execution? It's an execution. I actually had that lion, von Falkenstein.
Hail, traveler.
Witchcraft has long lived in the superstitions of the people here. Only recently some of these superstitions have become reality. According to tradition, one who has tried for witchcraft is allowed to choose the means by which they are tested from among the requests for peers. The villagers no doubt have some strange beliefs of what witches can and cannot do. Speak with them, and let's see what we can do to prove my innocence.
A steady tiller prevails.
Let's find out. What do we got?
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
I've never seen a real witch before. Isn't this exciting? Yeah, how do you prove someone's not a witch? I heard a story a while back. There was a witch who lived in a swamp, and the way the villagers found out was because the blood flies wouldn't go near her. They bit everyone else, but they wouldn't bite her. They say it's because a witch's blood is so foul, not even a blood fly will touch it.
Even rotten crops regrow.
Back in the old days, we'd weigh them down with a stone. If they resurfaced, we'd known they had made an unholy pact, and they'd get the noose. That's the only way to absolve a witch in my eyes.
May blight fall upon the coven.
Mainlander, eh?
Something must be done to stop the curse in our village. Surely killing the witch who cast the spell should break it. Actually, no. Depends on where they anchor a curse. I'm not sure. There's a rumor that a witch could never sick up, since their belly's constantly emptied by the dark spirits living within her. I'm not sure you'd prove that, though.
This land is...
Oh, I can think how you'd prove that.
Don't get many travelers here.
I've heard that witches' flesh is impervious to flame. That's why we hang them when they're found guilty. You want to convince me? Put a torch to her. Jesus!
Don't get many travelers here.
Well, my mom always told me a witch could never cry, no matter how sad or hurt they got. Miss Waycrest didn't cry one bit, even after being told she would put on trial. She must be a witch! May we burn her? Yeah, as I say, the drowning thing is based on real life. I'm not sure about the other ones, but yeah. In fact, I've even seen parodies do a work on it where it's like, alright, so, here's how this works. We're going to throw you into the river, and you're going to drown. Now, if you drown, you're innocent. Congrats! But if you rise up, we're going to have to pull you right back out and then go ahead and try you and hang you.
How can I help?
And yeah, as Miristar is right, this is yet another example in which Kultiros is just backwards. These people are still living in Warcraft 2 times. And I know you're thinking, that was only 13 years ago. Well, actually, no. No, hang on. How long ago was Warcraft 2? Hang on a second. Because Warcraft 3 was 13 years ago. 1 second. Because I know the timeline changed, so we're just going to check the numbers. Okay, so we are in the year 33. And the second year was in the year 4. So it has been 29 years since Warcraft 2. And that's a decent chunk of change right there. It was still the 90s 29 years ago. And it's also worth noting, you're probably thinking, oh, it's only 29 years ago. Think about how many substantial changes to people's understanding of the world have happened in universe in the last 29 years. Like, again, for example, the very nature of how people view undeath is a good example of that. Remember, undeath was like ghosts and occasional golems before Warcraft 3. With the invasion of the Scourge and the very invention of the Lich King, all of a sudden undeath became a whole thing, right? Never mind... Kidding, Luke. Never mind, yeah, demons. Much, much greater understanding of what demons are, what the Burning Legion is, etc. And all kinds of additional understandings of the Titans. Remember, we didn't even know they were called the Titans as of WoW Vanilla. And obviously that's a little bit of a real-life thing, but even in universe, knowledge and understanding of the Titans was very, very non-existent. So, that's a lot of major setting-changing stuff that these people have functionally never really interacted with or heard of, except for, like, whatever books and stories they've received from the outside world. Like those kids and the books they get that Braun has written, right? So, yeah. That's the era of Warcraft 2. Zandalari has been cut off even further, but we'll get there. Those are certainly interesting beliefs. I think it's safe to roll fire and drowning, don't you think? Which leaves us with 3 tests.
Fair winds and following seas. Keep your sails true.
First test should be simple enough. Well, I am not do so often. I'm certainly capable of crying, though to be honest, I've never had to cry on cue. Maybe you could help with that, though. There's an onion field nearby. It's abandoned, but you might be able to find an onion there to cause tears.
The Coven will pay for their atrocities.
I am all too familiar with the bloodfly's bite. We had them all over the field surrounding Waycrest Manor. Though I am loath to subject myself to them on purpose, if it'll convince these people, so be it.
Keep your sails true.
The last test I am not looking forward to, but is certainly better than being set on fire. They say a witch can't get sick. We'll prove that I can. A venom from the Sarlisks nearby is used by our healers when a child swallows something that they shouldn't. When ingested, it'll make you immediately ill. Oh good, Epicat. You'll need several of their venom glands.
The Coven will pay for their atrocities.
Okay. I can do that. It's also worth noting, these people, in addition to being stuck in Warcraft 2 times, actually have another little asterisk, making it worse. Here's the deal. Kultiros is perfectly positioned to be a mercantile power. And that carries, obviously, providence and wealth and all kinds of other cool stuff, but what it carries most of all is knowledge. Mercantile powers share information. Well, share is the wrong word. Trade in information? Deal in information? Knowledge of the world around them carries through their ports, right? Duh. Yeah, exactly, as Miristar. But the thing is, after the events of Warcraft 3, Kultiros, they didn't completely close their ports. Of course they didn't. That would be insanity. But they did certainly lock themselves away from the world and have been that way for the last 13 years. And yeah, as von Falkenstein says, even that's only in the ports. You may or may not remember this, but when we got here on our Alliance ship, we were allowed to stay in the foreign quarter of the port And even then, there were armed guards there staring at us. It wasn't until the dockmaster gave personal authority for us to be able to actually go into the foreign sector that we were even allowed out of the frickin' docks. So, yeah, no, them opening up anything other than that one tiny little section of the port is extremely new. Like, days ago new in lore. In other words, they are super duper insular, and have been for a generation. Well, what we usually think of as generations in real life. But you get the idea. I was going to make the same comparison on Falkenstein. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing, Loke. Like, this is just... Really, guys? You want me to prove my innocence because of doing your nonsense, jumping through hoops? Well, to prove you're not a witch! How will this prove I'm not a witch? What if I was a witch and just going along with all this stuff in order to satisfy you so I could go then curse your land again? I hadn't thought about that. No, you hadn't, because you're a moron. May I go now? So I can go stop the witches who are trying to curse your land. Sure. Thank you. That's another thing. That's why I don't really mind this kind of backwards thing. Obviously, they're going for an aesthetic. Duh. Salem Witch Trials, the Coven. You know, there's a whole motif and whole atmosphere going through Drustvar. But it makes sense in universe, so I don't really mind.
You mind your business,
Wait
and I'll mind mine.
a minute. Asmiristar! I accuse you of being a demon eel. Oh, hello there. Sorry, we don't get many mainlanders of these parts. This plot was my husband Sam's farm. He used to tend the onion fields every day before the curse befell us. With my husband gone, this farm's all I have left, and these quill rats are making sure I don't even get that. I hate to bother a perfect stranger, but could you help quell the infestation?
Even rotten crops regrow.
Okay. I knew it, Asmiristar! Thank God I've been doing all those kill eel quests. Try. Of course, Mr. Floyd. It makes perfect sense. We could have found out so easily. We just had to accuse her. Yeah, Waycrest is definitely going way downhill. Do you get it?
Don't get many travelers here.
Thank you. Maybe even reviving the field I can bring a bit of Sam's goodness back to the sick
Blight
person.
fall upon the coven.
Yeah, Drustvar needs help. Pretty bad help. Good thing for them, we happen to pass by.
Drustvar stands firm.
Any luck with the field?
Glory to
Great, you found one. I was worried there wouldn't be much left growing on that farm. People of Drustvar could learn a thing or two from that onion.
A steady tiller prevails.
Oh, there's 50.
Fair winds and following seas.
Well done. With this many blood flies, at least one is bound to bite.
The coven will pay for their
Good,
atrocities.
this toxin should have the desired effect. I can't believe I'm going through with this.
Glory to House Wake.
I think we have everything we need to conduct the 3 tests. Let's hope this is enough to convince them. I'm sure Constable Framer is champing at the bit to proceed with his trial. I prefer if you were the one to administer the tests. I do not know you well, but I trust you farther than the constable. Speak with him when you're ready to begin, and do me a favor, make this quick.
A steady...
Are you quite finished? I'm becoming impatient.
Dude, I have been to space.
What now? Move along. Finally, the trial can commence. As is customary, the Lady Waycrest has chosen the tests she will undergo to prove her innocence of the accused crime of witchcraft. She has selected this mainlander to administer the tests. An unusual choice, but as a show of good faith, I will allow it. The first test will be the shedding of tears. Let it be known that Miss Waycrest shed not one tear during this entire process? Is the accused even capable of weeping? Show us, that we may pass our judgment.
Of course
Go
not,
ahead,
Lunarith.
Mainlander. Show them.
After all, FF predates WoW Legion by several years. Remember, we go to space in FF1. No, we do, in the original NES version. But I suppose that's insufficient for you, so FF4.
She's crying? Witches can't do that, can they?
Calm down, calm down! There may still be trickery afoot. We will continue with the trial. The second test will be the stinging of insects. It is well known that even the voracious bloodfly will not taste of a witch's vile blood. Release the flies, then watch as they scatter from her bewitched flesh.
I'm poking fun, Lunarith. I'm sorry. Either way, FF14 definitely didn't care. FF14 went to space because FF4 went to space, because FF7 went to space, because FF8 went to space, because FF9 kind of went to space. You get it.
Ow! Oh! Oh! That stings!
The bugs don't seem to be avoiding her. If anything, they're biting more than usual.
Interesting, but hardly conclusive. Let us move on to the final test, the purging of the viscera. It is well known that a witch's power is fueled not by food, but by consuming the souls of her victims. Her insides are an empty husk. Are you prepared to prove otherwise, Miss Waycrest?
Indeed, I shall. The venom, Mainlander.
Yeah, no kidding, Lunarith.
Oh, I don't feel so.
Hey, I'm gonna back off for no reason.
She got sick! That's impossible! Maybe she's not a witch after all. But what of our village?
Quiet! I will be the one passing judgment here. I remain unconvinced. This still does not explain the happenings at Fletcher's Hollow.
What? After all I just went through?
Tests or no, you will only be absolved once we uncover the truth of what happened to our village.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mainlander, but I may have to ask another favor.
Sure thing. Shh. There you go. Favor given.
What is your business with House Waycrest? Keep your sails true.
It's obvious the constable won't be swayed until we discover what happened at Fletcher's Hollow. I know very little myself, only the village has been overrun by monstrous creatures. I must ask you travel there in my stead and try to uncover what befell the village. I'm sure Marshal Reed will be preventing the constable from harming me while you're away. Do this for me and I'll help you as much as I can.
Fair winds and following seas.
Good God. Hang on. Real quick. So what I've been doing, when I was doing the timestamps for the LGA video, one of the things I did was I made sure to get a list of exactly which categories we had for the next year, right? And I've been jotting down some stuff as we go through the WoW review. As you might imagine, I have a lot of suggestions for WoW candidates for nominees. We have a most punchable character category. I'm going to add Constable Henry Framer to the list. No reason. Yeah, no, it's actually funny. I sincerely doubt this was done on purpose. But on the Alliance, most of the common folk tend to be jackasses, and most of the upper class tend to be decent. Alright, we're gonna skip that quest. And on the Horde, most of the leadership tends to be awful, and most of the common folk tend to be legit.
Welcome to Fletcher's Hollow, Mainlander.
Sorry for the mess, but we've got a bit of a witch problem on our hands.
Obviously,
Unless
that's
you
not
plan on
universally
helping
true,
out, I
but
suggest you move along.
I mean, think about it. Other than the one particular issue, Catherine is actually pretty legit. Jaina, Anduin, you know. A Horde, we have Sylvanas, Nathanos, debatably Talanji. But then, over in the Horde, we have Zikan. And a dozen characters. But I can't think of the name of this right now. Like I said, it's not actually 100% true. But it would be funny if they did that on purpose. Yeah, near as I can tell, Bragwin, I think they actually did. Because you're right, it is never mentioned again. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Just get rid of it. I know that that's an unpopular opinion. And it is. But I do absolutely think that sometimes you need to just eject stuff from your canon, you know? Like, do we really need Code of Honor or Turnabout Intruder in Star Trek?
Spit it out.
FF14 could use a couple of purging passes. You're looking to help solve the curse. That's good to hear. We can surely use all the help we can get. I'm happy to help you get to the bottom of this. First things first, though. We need to help save some of the villagers. Care to lend a hand?
All right then, back to the fight.
Sure.
The only good witch is a dead witch.
These things seem intent on capturing our people, but we're not quite sure what for. The ones in town might be too rough to reach right now, but we might be able to save the woodsmen who work amongst the strand. Head to the lumber fields just east of here and see if there's anyone still out there. We can shelter them until we can find safe passage out of here.
You hear that, boys? The mainlander's gonna help us take our town back. The only good... Let's hope you brought an army in that pack of yours.
Oh, I did. I'm a beast hunter. Well, you know me, Loke. I am 100% in favor of removing content that should be removed. Destroy the past. Kill it if you have to. Unrelated, I've decided to delete all my ruminations today. They're old and crap, and nobody actually watches them anyways. They don't add to the substance of the universe, and I don't even get paid for them. I was actually thinking about our... basically, that period of time, right? 5.1. Except the rewrite version. If we keep the Purge of Dalaran, we need to make it a talking point. It needs to be something that is a big deal. Or, you know, we can just eject it from the existence entirely. Right? That's the common rule for any rewrite. If we're keeping it, we have to do something with it. If we can't come up with anything to do with it, we eject it. One moment, please. So, again, we would have to rewrite the Purging of Dalaran and turn it into something. Or, let's just sketch it out. Just nuke it from the story. Which brings me to something I was going to talk about, and I don't remember when. I got distracted by my nieces coming down, I'm pretty sure. Well, part of the problem is Pandaria was certainly a well-written story, but as several people have pointed out, myself included, that was the weird era where the writers had no idea how to write women. I mean, Tyrande and Jaina are two obvious examples of that, but there are plenty of other ones. Oh, neck. There's a rule I tend to have for rewrites. There's another rule. It's called the freebie. So, obviously, the goal is to include as much of the original content as possible, even if it is in a different form or format. But every now and again, there's something that it's like, you know what? Let's just dropkick this right out. That's the freebie slot. The idea behind the freebie slot is, this is, well, it's a... What do you call that center square in bingo? The free space? Doesn't feel like the term I was going for. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Look, I'm tired, okay? These half days really throw me. Frickin' Tuesdays. Anyways, it's a free space. Something still has to go there, but I can decide whatever I want to. I've actually already done this with Star Trek and Star Wars several times. And, well, Final Fantasy, I'm never removing an entire Final Fantasy from existence. Anybody who knows my plans for FF10-2 knows that FF10-2 is functionally my free space for the Final Fantasy rewrite. So, in Warcraft, that's Shadowlands. We can do whatever the hell we want to with Shadowlands. And the interesting part is that's going to be a fascinating time to develop whatever the hell we want to in whatever direction we want to. The only asterisk there is that I have this mental rule, and it's a purely creative challenge rule. And that rule is I have to keep the name. So, for example, my version of Star Trek V will still be called The Final Frontier, even if it's a political drama. Thusly, my version of Shadowlands still has to be called Shadowlands. So we still have that vague anchor to the dead. But, I mean, this is Warcraft. We could do a lot of stories about the dead, right? Sorry, moving on.
What's your business here? Enough chit-chat.
Good work, Hunter. Even if we don't manage to take the town back, it's good to know we were able to save some of our people.
All right, then. Back to the fight.
Got a small boat docked across the way here. If we can get these villagers safely on board, they should be able to make the Fall Haven by river. You're a capable fighter. Can you fend off any attackers while we get them to safety?
The only good... All right, boys. Let's secure this road so we can get these bystanders out of harm's way. Mainlander, take a position with them and hold off any attacks from the town. Looks like they're onto us. Protect the civilians!
I was changing my talents. Shoot. I'm here. I'm sorry. See, I'm okay with the Horde versus Alliance being a thing in Warcraft 2. In fact, ironically, there isn't much I would change about Warcraft 1 or Warcraft 2.
More attackers from the town! Hold your position!
Mostly just a few polishing passes, right?
Looks like they're sending in the big guns! Brace yourselves, boys!
I love the plushy meteor. Yep,
That's the last of the villagers. With any luck, they'll make it to Fall Haven unscathed. Make it quick.
Thank you. Those villagers owe you their lives. Now, if they're safe, we can focus on taking back the town.
All right, then. Back to the fight.
If you're looking to absolve Miss Waycrest of this mess, you'll need to head into the town. Recently, I've seen some oddly dressed women amongst the creatures who seem to be calling the shots. It's likely the key to this whole nightmare, but we can't get in to question them. The minions don't seem to slow you down, though. If you can get to them, maybe find some answers. Be careful, they likely aren't very friendly.
Enough chit-chat. A word of warning, Mainlander. Avoid the mine at all costs.
Ooh, go to the mine immediately. Got it.
The magic coming out of that place seems to sap your very life away. I've already lost 2 good men in there. Don't make yourself the third.
It's okay. I'm not a good man. That's not very comforting. It's not supposed to be. I do really like the Kalimdor League idea. I think I've kind of fallen in love with that concept, and we're probably going to do something with that. It makes entirely too much sense for there to be more or less an east and a west. What, Magister? The only way I would do that, Lunarith, is as a for fun exercise. I wouldn't actually do that for the rewrite. Well, that's a good question. Do I have that set?
Francis, lucky doos and root.
I'm not seeing it. Unless it looks so different on a Kultir and I'm just not recognizing it. Nope, I don't appear to have it. Although, that looks badass on me. Jesus, look at that. I'm not doing that, but wow, that looks cool.
Farewell, friend of the Grummels.
You should not have interfered.
Yeah, whatever. So I do like there being... Right, hang on, let me rewind. Right. Warcraft 3. What kind of things would I want to change about Warcraft 3? Now, obvious polishing past stuff is obvious. Let's just get that out of the way. You know, smooth over a few bits of logistics and timeline and characters and just line it up a bit more with where we want the story to go eventually. That's easy stuff. Moving on. But big changes, like, because that's what you mean. You mean, would there be any big changes I would make in Warcraft 3? No, I don't think I would add Night Elves to Warcraft 3. Nobody likes Night Elves. See, the funny thing is, well, obviously Uther and Jaina both made a mistake at Stratholme.
Belongs to the coven, interloper.
The reality of it is, it still makes sense that neither of them would go along with it in universe, and it certainly is a nice step of Arthas's arc.
Before the matrons.
As we've pointed out several...
Oh,
hello.
Take heed.
Nice woman.
The miners at Fletcher's Hollow have stumbled upon a previously undisturbed ruin, hidden deep within the Elder Stone mine. The tomb inside may hold powerful relics that could prove useful for our coven's rituals. Do what you must to secure the town. I will arrive shortly to investigate the ruins personally.
By the way, these are pig hearts that have been in Source World. Just feel like that. Oh no, I'm going to change a lot in Warcraft overall, Bladefall. But Warcraft 3 and 2? Mostly little things. Yep, sorry. Big Activision, or I guess, excuse me, Microsoft bought me out. They offered me $140. I can't turn down that kind of cash. Get out of here. I'll tell you one thing I'll change. Kel'Thuzad was not always working for the jailer. Jesus Christ. I just... So the other question I was asked was minimum change game with Shadowlands. Okay. Let me think about that for a minute. I mean, so let's get this out of the way. The easy and obvious minimum change game with the Shadowlands is to remove the jailer. I know we all meme on that, but that really is the smallest change that will do the biggest positive change to the expansion. Instead of having one major ultra-death bad guy who magically controls everyone else around him, and his dick is so big, and he's been behind every plot thread in all of Warcraft history forever, just make it a bunch of people in the afterlives who are plotting in their own little plots that have nothing to do with each other. And the main villain is Sylvanas, a broken, bitter woman who has been destroyed by her life and death. Boom. Done. Fixed. There's your minimum change game.
The Coven will swallow all. The Coven will claim you.
You and your Coven, I swear, God. Well, you know what they say about a broken clock here. That's right, it's time to take it out back with an axe. I mean, I just told you, Lineruth. Removing the jailer just kind of makes most of the stories of Shadowlands separate, independent, and unconnected stories, which, hey, that just sounds like WoW in general, doesn't it?
Spit it out. All right, then.
They weren't willing to talk? Unfortunate. At least with them gone, we may stand a chance at taking back the town.
The only good witch is a dead witch.
Be able to control one of their creations, that's amazing. That could turn the tide for us.
Enough chit-chat.
It seems we were mistaken. Miss Warcraft was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but this also means Fletcher's Hollow may be in even more danger.
All right, then. Back to the fight. Enough chit-chat.
If the mine really was their objective, I can only imagine they'd have even more forces in there. My men and I'd be able to take out the remnants, but if even a bigger force comes out of the mine, we're not going to stand a chance while you're hunting there. Do you think you could, soften them up a bit?
The only good witch is a dead witch.
I know you've got what you came for, but I need to ask you one more favor. The town won't be safe until this matron is taken care of. According to the letter, she must be holed up in that cave. None of our people have been able to enter it, but I know I've seen their constructs go in. This charm you found might be the key. If you can control one of the Wicker men and send it after, we might have a shot.
Enough chit-chat.
Can't I just go in and shoot them? Okay, fine. I guess. Ugh. Alright, what do we got? Attack, sweep, leap. Hey, who's this handsome devil? I love how my hand is just a bunch of, like, bound together shards of wood. I love the aesthetic, the wicker aesthetic. Wicker and bone. What takes us to Zereth Mortis? I mean, the easy and obvious answer is that Sylvanas is there, trying to do basically the same thing that he was doing.
Some meddlesome clod managed to turn one of our creations against us. You must think you're so clever.
A little bit, yeah.
It matters not. See what becomes of the enemies of the Coven. Acolytes, destroy our wayward pawn!
Lady, I defeated the Burning Legion. No, what I'd probably do is remove her first boss fight entirely. Replace it with something else. Doesn't even matter what. Good evening, Uthor. So you don't actually fight Sylvanas at the Oribos raid. I don't remember the name of it, but the Oribos raid. Instead, she's doing her thing where she's like,
You will not have my work disrupted! Destroy this insect! Impressive. But it will take more than that to best a matron of the Heartsbane Coven! Face my wrath!
Okay.
You cannot win. My sisters are many. Kulteris.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over you being dead.
What's your business here? All right then.
Wait, you're telling me it's even worse in the mines? You know what? Don't tell me about it. As long as you killed whatever was in there, I think we'll be okay.
The only good witch is a dead witch.
It worked. I'll be a Kraken's uncle. Hero did save our hides. I'm not going to repay you, but this should be a good start.
Enough chit-chat.
It'll take us a while to clean up the beasts that are left over, but I'm confident we'll be able to do it. Thanks to you, of course. Here, take this letter to the constable. It should be enough to clear Miss Waycrest Lane. I'm sorry I had to witness all this, Mainlander. We're good people, but these are terrible times.
All right then. Back to the fight.
I do not believe you. Moving on. My very, very vague, off the top of my head, took me 3 seconds to think of it idea, is that Sylvanas is trying to end the cycle of death, undeath, afterlife, someone decides your fate for you thing. Remember, Sylvanas, when she's well written, is extremely pro-freedom of choice. So, the very idea of something like the Arbiter existing would bug the crap out of her. Once her plans are all thrown into ruin and all that, she decides to one-up herself because, you know, screw you. And she decides to take everything down with her and just etch-a-sketch everything. That's why she's in Zereth Mortis. There you go. Boom. Done. Oh, hey. I can finally have some Grimestone stew. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll check that out. Oh, yeah. It's actually like made of a mug and bread in the same dish. Oh, this is really good. Oh, God. Okay. Ooh. All right, that was filling. Anyways, I'm here to save your life. What?
Can't you see I'm busy?
A letter from Mayor Pear? Well, it appears we were mistaken.
Finally. Attention! It has been determined that another witch was in fact responsible for the curse.
Implication. Another witch.
Miss Waycrest, you are free to go, with my apologies.
Thank you, Constable. Shall we, Mainlander?
May I suggest firing this man?
Drustvar stands firm.
Exactly, Linerith. You're getting it. Thank you for helping to redeem me in the eyes of my people, Hunter. I am in your debt, and I'll be sure to let my father know. In the meantime, I think we should find out what this Heartsbane Coven is, and what they're doing in our lands. Hope the Marshal will be able to enlighten us. First things first, though. Could you undo these ropes? They're starting to chafe.
Keep your sails true. That's better. Now let's...
Look out! Enemies from the woods!
Oh no!
It's an ambush! Defend the villagers!
I'm very surprised by this development. Where are my traps? I put traps out. Whatever. But no, it's flipping the table in Earth.
Not slowing them down anymore! More incoming!
Now, I'm not sure how I would have Sylvanas' arc end. Her just dying at the end of the Sepulchre, or whatever it's called. I don't know, it feels too... insufficient.
What in creation is that?
The mother will have you, Lucille, where you are fools to resist.
We'll protect the lady, Mainlander. Take out their
The mother will take...
Marshal, what do you know of this coven? Tell me what is happening to our land.
It is worse than you know, my lady. This coven has spread like wildfire throughout Drustvar. They've overrun much of the land past the mountains. We've only a handful left holding Aram's stand.
And my father? What is he doing to combat this incursion?
They have him, my lady. We were working on a way to extract him when we heard word of this trial.
Well then, it looks like we're going to have to take the fight to the Coven. I think I know how to do just that. What is your business with House Waycrest?
The situation is much worse than I thought. The Coven has taken House Waycraft. This will not stand. Wait, you mentioned they were drawing power from a ruin. I think I might have an idea.
Glory to House Waycrest.
This Coven is drawing power from the ancient ruins, and I may know something that can help us fight back. Maybe at the first fork in the High Road Pass, or something I want you to see.
Fair winds and following seas. Marshal, you and your men will travel to Aram's stand. I will meet you there after a brief detour.
But my lady, it will be safer if...
I will not hear it, Marshal. This mainlander will accompany me and ensure I come to no harm.
I hope you're right, my lady. Form up, men! We ride!
Come, hero. We ride to High Road Pass. Greetings, Outlander.
She's like the worst speed here. I'll just go on. I'm still faster than her on foot. Oh, god dang it. Whatever. Whatever. So I know it's technically ahead of us. It's not until 8.1.5. But, you know... Hang on. No, I know I can. We're over 50. And it doesn't really matter for an allied race, because it's just going to be walk up and get the armor. I just kind of want to see it, so we can have it while we're questing. Don't mistake me, I actually like the questing mail armor here, but, you know.
I will hear you. Our champion, it is with great respect and admiration that I present you with the regalia of the Admiralty's most decorated officers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wear it with pride, as an honored hero of both the Alliance and Kultiras.
What do we think? Because I think that's sharp. Damn. Gotta be staring at it. Where is it? There it is. No? That's not it. We'll go with that.
Beware of Yeti!
They do not. They haven't since BC or Wrath, I forget which. I like all of that. Emphasis on the nautical look. Ropes. Birch. Anchors, nice gold. Kind of like a yellow outline. Got that teal aqua looking blue, which is very Kultiran. Obviously the cap. I mean, come on. The cap. Look at that. Look at that. No, I like that. I like that a lot. Ironically, most people do. Funny how that works out. And I'm not sure this is the best gun, but it's the one I have. It's even a popped collar. I'm with it. I'm with it. I know that people would disagree with me on this, but I don't care. I probably wouldn't have Sylvanas written out of the story entirely in our version of Shadowlands. I like the idea of her having something similar with different structure to it, but the same approach of her essentially being locked away and having to deal with the consequences of her actions for an undetermined period of time. And the idea there being that at some point in the future, we, the writers, could bring her back if we want to, but we also don't have to. There's actually a term for that. She was put on a bus. And I don't like how that gun sits on my back. The reason for that term specifically is because there's a difference between busing and fridging. Fridging is getting rid of a character. Busing is getting rid of a character in a way that they might come back someday. Oh, there we go. That's appropriate. What do we think? That was a little bigger. If they were going to, that'd be the time to, Magister. But yeah, a bus can come back, is the point. Doesn't have to, but can. Yeah, I feel like the backpack is the right call. I just wish it was bigger. And this is just too... not this. This is not the Mountaineer. So that doesn't work. We'll go with that.
May your feet find good trails.
Hail, traveler.
Good, you're here. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have an easy path to our destination.
A steady tiller prevails. The Coven will
It would
pay.
seem the guard have been lax in patrolling the High Road Pass. The mountain yetis have taken advantage of their absence and now lie in our path. I'm no soldier, so I need to ask you to take care of them while I sneak past. If we can drive them off the road, it'll at least make the pass safe again for travelers. Oh, nice, Sprigwin. Holy crap, I am glad he's alive. Under other circumstances, that would sound like a joke. This poor trader was set upon by the Yetis. There's nothing we can do for him now, but we would be remiss to let his supplies be laid to waste by these brutes.
Fair Bella, I'll need you to follow this one and carry the supplies they find, okay?
Nay. Oh, I like that in action, too. No, I'm with it. I'm with it. It's raining. Perfect. Yeah, Pandaren the only one we don't have right now, right? Am I remembering that correctly? I mean, there's no way we're not getting a Pandaren heritage armor, right? These skeletons appear to be rising out of the ancient ruins that dot the land here. Their bones are covered with looks like runes, but time has worn away all but the fragments of the markings. Undead, Yetis, and Covens. Cool. Look, there's no sword. I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, the problem is, sorry, going back to the Purge of Dalaran for a second. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense that if we wanted to include the Purge, it would just be yet another reason for more people to turn against Garrosh. And do we even need that at that point? We have plenty of reasons for everyone in the world to be like, you know, you suck. I don't know. I agree, actually, Uthor. And yeah, it really doesn't change a lot, ironically. Yeah, so part of the reason why I don't like to skip ahead in rewrites is, well, duh, right? Any world state changes are going to have domino effect on things further down the line. For example, one of the few things that I absolutely am pretty firm in is the idea we're going to have the League of Kalimdor, whatever we end up calling it. So, where does that leave the Blood Elves? Yeah, exactly. Hear a white noise. Hit me, Huthor. Worst idea ever! Oh, sorry. Well, see, exactly, Master. Like, we'd have to really sit and think about what exactly would be going on with the Blood Elves. In fact, so you mentioned earlier Garithos, and that's actually a valid thing to point out. I mentioned I'm not sure I would change much more from Warcraft 3 other than some polish. But I think you're right. I think readdressing some of... well, Garithos, put simply, in Frozen Throne would be relevant. I don't think that would change much, really, so I still think that's a polishing thing, as opposed to a big thing. The Peace of Kalimdor. Let me ask you this. At what point do you think that would become a formal military alliance? Because surely it would, right? But there's just too many times where they need to band together for literal military aid. It's actually one of the reasons why my original term for that was the Confederation.
How can I help? A steady tiller prevails.
Thank you, Hunter. Keeping the pass clear will ensure a steady stream of supplies to High Road Gate. We will need them in the battles to come.
The Coven will pay for their atrocities.
I'm impressed. I didn't think there would be this much left from the shipment. This will be very helpful to our men at the gate. Bella knows the way, so she should be able to get those to him. This place is too dangerous to keep her hitched up anyway.
Yeah! Ride to Aram's stand, Bella.
What's this?
Keep your sails true.
These markings. This is the language of the Drust. The magic of the Coven must be disturbing their spirits, drawing them into our world to fight once more. This is unsettling. It's another reason to bring an end to the Heartsbane.
The Coven will pay for their atrocities.
Well, considering it doesn't even exist at all, Huthor. Our destination is that cottage up ahead. I know it doesn't look like much, but a great deal of history is inside. First, we have to deal with the massive Yeti camped outside. I'd hate to ask this of you, but could you draw its attention so I can slip inside?
Glory to House.
Sure, let me draw its attention. There, it is distracted. By virtue of being dead. Now that's an interesting question, because the Night Elves, and I've mentioned this before because it's relevant in canon, but it's also something I've been thinking about for our Warcraft. The Night Elves don't really have a polity as of Warcraft 3. So I'm probably the only person in the world who finds this idea interesting, but I find it interesting to have the foundation of a Night Elf polity, or polities, during the events after Warcraft 3 leading into WoW.
Greetings, Outlander.
I have no idea, Loke. I have put zero thought into it. That's the point.
Fair winds and following seas.
I'm sure you're wondering why I brought you here. Located in this cottage is a hidden door. You can find a way to access it. The answer to your questions and maybe even survival should be beyond. Let me search for it.
A steady tiller prevails. I can't believe we're here. My father used to tell me stories about this place. It contains an ancient secret of our house, from back when the Waycrests first settled this land. We just need to find the entrance.
Let's see, is it the boots? It's a pair of old boots. What did you expect? It's not the boots. So the Night Elves had the Sentinels, which, obvious. And then the druids, which don't really have much of a hierarchy. And that's sort of it. Surprisingly enough, the protruding book is not a secret lever for hidden entrance. Aww.
That's it. The way is opening. What is your business with House Waycrest?
You found it. I knew there were more than stories. Come, let's see what's inside.
Keep your sails true.
What lies beyond are more ruins, much like those the Coven sought. However, these ruins are a different purpose, one that established a legacy of House Waycrest thousands of years ago. Head inside, let's explain.
The Coven will pay for their atrocities. Long ago, when Kultiras was first settled, our people encountered a savage group of warmongering barbarians. They called themselves the Drust. Drustvar was their ancestral home. It was from here that they launched endless raids into our fledgling hamlets. This carried on for countless years, until the ancestors of House Waycrest decided that something had to be done. Wait! What was that?
Oh no, the statues are coming to life.
Look out!
I'm very shocked. But can I get some Lord Shocks?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mainlander. The Coven's magic must be disturbing the spirits of the ancient Drust. We'll have to be careful. My ancestors fought against stone constructs, much like these in their war against the Drust. The Waycrests have always been hearty folk, but the Drust's magic was strong. We were losing the war. In the end, it was our scholars that turned the tide.
Unusual pause after dialogue.
Wait! Look out!
Cool.
Oh, thank you, Mainlander. I thought that one had me for a moment. As I was saying, the tide of the war shifted when our scholars began to uncover weaknesses in the Drust's magic. They compiled what they learned into a treatise on weapons and tactics that could be used to defeat the barbarians. Armed with this knowledge, our men started driving the Drust back into their mountain holds. They kept that knowledge hidden here, safe from unwanted hands. It looks like some rubble blocks our path ahead. Can you clear the way?
Lady, I have a gun.
Wait.
And some crows.
Something's not right. Mainlander, behind you!
I don't disagree that the Sentinels would probably try to unify... Well, wrong word. The Sentinels would continue to exist, and possibly try to form their own nation. Past that, I'm not sure, Lode.
I've never seen a construct that big before. Are you all right?
Yeah, let me tell you about Supremus sometime.
What am I saying? Of course you're all right. I can see it'll take more than a few stones to bring you down. Come along. The book should be in here. Here it is. The last resting place of the Order of Embers. Are you ready to revive ancient history?
Who would have thought that from this stuffy little chamber would rise some of the greatest warriors of House Waycrest history? Ow. I don't mind the idea of a druid council. It's practically what they have already. They just don't address it much. Like, that came up in Legion. And I think Cataclysm, and that's kind of it.
Glory to
and
House
Dragonflight.
Waycrest.
The Order of Embers was the name given to those who took up the arms against the Drust. Using the tools and methods uncovered by the scholars, they were able to counter the Drust magic. Let's see. Step 1. Fire.
If you are prepared to follow the path of the Order, take up the book.
Okay.
The knowledge within will grant you, as well as our forces, the edge needed to destroy the foul coven that plagues our land. How can I help? Fair winds and
Luthor's bringing up an interesting thought, though. This is why I like having a writer's room, because you mentioned things I would have never considered. What if there is no Night Elf nation? What if they never form into any polities? What if the Night Elves just distribute into the other nations of Kalimdor? Like, Night Elven society for a bagrillion years, we're shrinking the 10,000 years, by the way, for a long time hasn't been. People just kind of roam and do whatever they want to. There's barely Night Elven towns pre-Warcraft 3. So they just kind of go wherever. And most of those nations in Kalimdor, they were already struggling before they came to Kalimdor. And now they're struggling, you know, because they just survived a war against the Legion. So, yeah, both sides would be like, yeah, please, please, we could use some help. Yeah, exactly. So there would be a Sentinel Barracks in Thunderbluff, a Sentinel Barracks in Orgrimmar, etc., etc. There would probably still be the Cenarian Circle with the representatives of the Druids there, but I could still see there being Cenarians, that is to say, Druids, who actually, you know, hold fealty to a particular nation. While in Drustvar, killing an aberration, elemental, or undead grants haste. Stacks up to 20 times. Nice.
A steady tiller prevails.
Let's take it to Aram's Strand. It'll get us some time to parse the knowledge of the tome and train more Inquisitors. If the Order's weapons are as effective as the Coven as they were against the Drust, we may have a chance of rescuing my family and restoring my land to its former glory.
Thus is reborn the Order of Embers. Now then, I believe we have some witches to kill.
Starting with you. Alright, first, I need you to vomit.
Mainlander. I'll meet you at Aram's Stand.
One of these days they're going to fix the fact that music doesn't play in caves. Or they're never going to fix it, and that's just our life forever. I'm not sure I agree, Alok. I'd have to think about it, though. Part of that depends on the world state as of the end of Warcraft 3, which, admittedly, we haven't thought about yet. That Dominoes thing again. And yeah, we've seen many times the Kaldorei are actually quite progressive once they get kicked in the ass. And Lord knows Warcraft 3 probably qualifies. Tyrande being xenophobic, I think that has much more potential. The Night Elves as a whole, that would be really funny, Lineruth. At last, I have the power of my enemies. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're literally the commoners of the evil empire. They're the remnants of the Rebel Alliance.
I know you're trying to help, but you must stop these adventures of yours. It's dangerous out there.
You don't understand, Marshal. The knowledge we've unearthed could be the key to saving my father from the Coven.
I wish I had your faith, Lucy. But I think it'll take more than ancient legends to eliminate this threat.
How about a gun?
Hail, Traveler.
How about a giant beam of death from space? I got one of those. I'm glad you made it. We'll need to get started right away if we want to use this knowledge in the tomb to fight the Coven.
Glory to House Waycrest.
Well, I appreciate the dedication that went into compiling this tome. This thing reads like an engineering instruction for a siege engine. I'm gonna need some time to comb through this. I wouldn't mind some assistance if you have a moment. For starters, I could use some light in here.
Keep your sails true.
Yeah, sure.
Now, it says here that the Order used special weapons against the Trust to counter their dark magic. If my theory is correct, then whatever they used could also disrupt the Coven's magic. Let me see if there is something here we can try.
Oh, the Wardens will totally just do whatever the hell they feel like. Yeah, they had a dagger they called Zalatath. Zalatath? Something like that. I don't know, there's no pronunciation guide.
Much better. Could you do me a favor and jot this down? My notebook is here somewhere. Okay. Rowanwood? No, that doesn't grow around here. Alchemical fire? Oh, if only Master Ashton were here. He would have a field day. Drustvar stands firm. Hail, traveler.
Did you find it?
Fair winds.
Ah, you found it. Excellent. She produces a long sewing needle. You look confused. Let me explain.
The Coven will pay.
I have reason to believe that the Coven has already infiltrated Aram's stand. There are many unfamiliar faces here with the refugees from Cor Lane. We know they can use their magic to appear like us. This needle is solid silver. If the witches are vulnerable to silver, then a prick may be enough to break the spell. The refugees may not be keen on being prodded, but they must understand this is for the good of the town. And also Drustvar.
Glory to House Waycrest.
Okay. Oh, hello.
Marshal, we may have found weapons to use against the Coven. We will need able-bodied soldiers to wield them.
We have many capable troops stationed here, my lady. They'll make fine recruits for your Order of Embers.
I've no doubt you're quite capable hunter, Mainlander. But we'll need some help if we want to make it to Waycrest Manor in one piece. A small group would be ideal, strong enough to face the Coven's threats, small enough to remain unnoticed. I've written new orders to some of my finest soldiers to join your Order of Embers. Live with them, so that we can prepare to move out.
Glory to House Waycrest.
Oh no, we totally have Blade to Vol. I'm wondering when BFA was being written relative to Diablo 3 being out. So I'm pretty sure BFA was later, but I'm not sure of the exact timing on that. Oof. Ugh. Looks like some careless witch has made a poor attempt to hide this grimoire from sight. No good could come of leaving the possessions of the Coven for a hapless villager to find. Probably a good idea to destroy any of the trappings of the Coven you find in the stand. So burn that. And poke.
Ouch! What in blazes was that for?
Sorry. Excuse me, sir. Hang on. You gotta watch this animation.
Mainlanders.
Ready?
Hey, watch where you're pointing that thing. Clumsy oaf.
Poke.
Hey, watch where you're pointing that thing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, clumsy oaf.
Poke.
It is useless to resist.
Oh, there's a map. Among her possessions, the witch carried a crudely drawn map of the Aram stand. A symbol marks what looks like an entrance to the cellar beneath one of the buildings. If this location is important to the Coven, it might be worth scouting out. Yeah, I accuse you! It's funny, because that's practically what we're doing. I accuse you?
It is useless to resist.
Yep. Cool. A polity is the most generic catch-all word for organization. An empire, a nation, a kingdom, a city-state, a city, a military, a junta, a confederacy, a loose alliance, a tribe, all of those are polities. I tend to use the word when I'm speaking from the broadest terms because it is the broadest term that I know of.
Ouch! What in blazes was that for? Ouch! What in blazes was that for? Bloody mainlanders. Bloody...
Ouch! What in blazes was that for?
Sorry.
Ugh, bloody mainland.
Hey, watch where you're pointing that thing.
Drustvar is ours.
Clumsy oaf.
Ah! Sorry. Just for us ours, clumsy oaf. I would love it if they just started calling me that. What would I do with the Vault of the Wardens? Again, without knowing much of the world state, I would say the Vault would probably just be kind of doing its own thing. In fact, I can imagine maybe as like a barest background element. One organization or another reaches out to them like, hey, you've got a well-defended prison. We have people that need imprisoning. Can we work together? And the Vault Wardens tell them, piss off. And that's about the extent of it. Nice falcon.
Say hi, Winston.
Fine specimen, isn't he? The House of Waycrest has long been known as experts in the arts of falconry. Unfortunately, most of our best birds have fallen under the curse of the Coven. Winston is one of the only few not under their spell. It's a sad state of affairs.
Happy hunting. New orders, then. Come, Winston. Looks like we have witchers to fight.
That is a large carrot, my goodness. Probably, Luke. Like, and I can actually picture the very, very boring council meeting.
Where's the battle? I'll see you on the battlefield. So, you're the one behind this Order of Embers I've been hearing about. While I don't buy into all this hocus-pocus, anything is better than sitting here waiting for the Coven to kill us all. You have my blade, Mainlander.
I could picture the council meeting where, you know, someone's like, so we reached out to the wardens and they told us to piss off. And one of the night elves is like, well, yeah. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Well, explain. Oh, so they're kind of busy. Yeah. Maybe we should send them supplies and food periodically. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. And then just kind of close the book on that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's about time.
Man, a few words there. Excuse me. Hey, Huthor, are you still there? That did sound like Ralph Innocent, but I'm not sure. That's the idea, Loke, but...
How might I help?
Again, vague and off the top of my head. Hey, Evo.
New information? Fair winds, and following... So, Marshal Reed believes that you are the key to driving back the Coven. I have my doubts, but I will carry out my orders. I will join the others and await your command, Mainlander.
Lady, I have been to space. Evo, tell them I've been to space. Hello? What's with the guts and the blood and the bones?
Mainlander, eh?
What's going on down here?
So, you found us out. You must think yourself so clever. No matter. Soon your discovery will die with you. Attack my pets!
Hags.
You're strong! But I was promised greatness!
You know, this is true with most settings, but especially in Warcraft. If someone says, hey, I'll make you super powerful if you do this evil stuff, maybe don't listen. Historically speaking, it doesn't work out for you. Or if it does, it only works out for a little bit. And then someone shows up and is like, hey, what's up? So listen, you're my 515, okay? But I am super powerful. Yeah, that's great. I've got like 18 other super powerful people to deal with today. Can we go? Okay. We'll use my great foot. Boo! Ah!
You have need of me? Foul waters lie ahead. So the rumors are true. The Order of Embers is reformed. And here I thought their tales were merely some historian's overactive imagination. Thank you for delivering these orders. I shall report to Miss Waycrest at once.
That's true, Blake Duval. Sometimes you may get a really long time before you run into that person. Other times it'll be like minutes. We've seen that happen where someone's like, yes, I accept the coven. And we're like there when they turn evil. And it's like, okay. And that's the end of their evil career. Oh, what the world? 1 second. Listen, they're calling about my reverse mortgage, which I definitely have. This is very important.
Our enemy's eyes are upon us.
Sure thing, Logain.
The battle awaits. We must act with haste. We must drive out the darkness. Our enemy's eyes are upon us. The battle awaits. Stop that. Hey, that tickles! Oh, hey, stop, you bastard! or I'll kill you! We must act with haste.
Definitely not Simon Tumbleman.
What is your business with House Waycrest?
It was good thinking to dispose of the witch's trappings. I don't know what would happen if an innocent villager toyed around with such things.
Fair winds and following seas.
You found their leader. Good work. People of Aram Strand will be safe now that you've thoroughly dismantled the Coven's machinations.
A steady tiller prevails.
Oh, it worked. Nice. I can prick the target to see if they're a witch in disguise. Hang on, hold still, Evo. I need to prick you with a silver needle. Poke! Too bad we don't have a stockpile of silver weapons lying around, but I think I know how to deal with that.
Keep your sails true.
Before we leave, I have one more ask to ask of you. While you're busy recruiting the Inquisitor and driving the Coven away from Aram Stand, I took the liberty of placing an order with the local tailor. Using some of the sketches within the tome, I had put together uniforms. Since you'll be leading them, I think it's only fit that you present them with their new regalia.
The Coven will... There were words of induction somewhere in the tome. Let me see. Ah, here we are. Brothers and sisters, today you become the searing fire that burns away the darkness. Today, you become the shining blade that cuts through the wicked. Today, you become the beacon of hope against the endless foe. By the authority of House Waycrest, I name you Inquisitors of the Order of Embers.
The Order of Sargeras! I mean... we're literally forming an Inquisition here.
Now, before we depart, I'll need someone to undertake a special task for the Order. Any recommendations, Marshal?
Captain Cleardawn, excuse me, Inquisitor Cleardawn is as reliable as they come. I'm sure she can handle anything you need her for.
Thank you, sir. What do you require of me, milady?
If we wish to defeat the Coven for good, we will need more than silver. We will need fire. Take this recipe for alchemical fire to Master Ashton in Falconhurst. He will know what to make of it.
Yes, ma'am.
The rest of us will need to prepare for the ride to Corlane. Marshal, I understand you have a plan of attack.
Yes. We ride out on the mainlander's command.
Drustvar stands firm.
That was nice and official. I think it's time we took the fight back to the Heartsbane. I believe the Marshal has a plan.
Fair winds and following seas.
Oh, that's even better. I'm ready to fight. I was told there was a fight over here. Let's do it.
We must drive out the darkness.
Lord and Lady Waycrest lay trapped in Waycrest Manor. Before we can reach them, however, we must be brave enough to hit the city of Corlane, which is firmly in the grasp of the Heartsbane. Our first course of action should be to set up a forward outpost. Our scouts have found that the tower at Watchman's Rise is only lightly guarded. I recommend we take the tower from them. It is now your command, Inquisitor. Say the word.
The word is given. Let us ride to Corlane.
A lot of Earthen I've been noticing as I've been roaming.
Champion, if I may have a word with you, I would like your assistance.
Sure. Lady Waycrest has entrusted me with securing the town of Falconhurst and the services of the Master Alchemist Ashton. However, I have found no one who has heard of Falconhurst in some time. The skies above the forest are impassable, so we must travel the old roads through ruins in the mountains. A small, capable party has a better chance to bypass the growing forces of the witches and to secure Master Alchemist Ashton. To that end, I ask you assist me.
Remain steadfast. We've not a moment to waste. Falconhurst hasn't been heard from in days. I will meet you there.
Actually, I do, Yura. Alright, let me go ahead and hit the old roads. Up in the sky.
Stand strong.
Something has disturbed the spirits here. Spirits of the departed still fight with constructs and shambling dead. Our goal is Falconhurst, but a quick investigation might help us fight these foes better.
Farewell. Be wary of the
There's an opportunity here. Learning more of the Drust can not only help us understand the texts Lady Lucille found, we might be able to discover greater details about how they or their constructs were finally defeated. Filling in the gaps of history could be the key to victory. This is one of their settlements before it became a place of their final defeat. Let's look for the clues in the ruins.
Strike true. Be wary of the woods.
Some of the other spirits on the battlefield are too weary to go on. Brave Kultirans. They have more than earned their rest, but their sense of duty holds them here. Order the most weary spirits off the field of battle. Hopefully they can be convinced to rest.
Fair winds and following seas.
Let's set the mood a little bit better. There we go. Is this better, Yura? Listen, we're from like an island that way, Lunaruth. As a Kultiran, it's pretty.
Orders.
The ghostly captain continues to fight as she speaks, once more locked in the heat of battle, unaware the war has been over for centuries. What are you doing standing around? We've ground them into their final warriors and those damnable runic constructs, but the war isn't over yet. Colonel Waycrest needs us to hold this line. Kill as many of the Drust as you can. We might see the end of this war.
She thinks we're part of her militia. Well, if we follow orders, none of those monsters will ever make it down to Aram's stand. Let's help.
I mean, I was going to anyways, but sure, why not? You have this thing where someone has an exclamation mark over their head, and I can't not, you know, I lack the ability to say no. God. You have to give us candy. No! You have to give us more candy. No! The horror. The horror. Yeah, I noticed. Nothing really special here. Just a bunch of raised up bones.
It seems as if the Kultirans in this stele are civilians, sailors, and some farmers. Wait, this depicts one of the early Kultiran settlements. One of the lost settlements. When we landed here, we tried peace. But the Drust went to war immediately. Only a few tolerated new neighbors. But this, they've glorified the slaughter. The Kultirans don't even have weapons.
I get the feeling that they were bad people, these Drust. Almost like the Vrykul were actually horrifically evil. Thanks, Odin. Remember, Odin actually stated multiple times that the only people who had the right to fight for the world were his Vrykul. You remember that? It was a whole thing for him. Nobody is acceptable except for my Vrykul. Now, he's been a hypocrite about that several times, but I'm just pointing it out. Thank you, Evo. I'm actually quite fond of this outfit. The colors are really good if it was daytime, but I don't magically have the power to make it daytime. I mean, I do, but I don't want to do it right now. Gotta keep the atmosphere.
It's a victory over another Kultiran settlement. The large figure in the center is their legendary leader, I think. Interesting that we don't see any of their constructs taking the field.
Well, that does sound horrible, Yura. Maybe I should change my outfit immediately. What, you don't like my cursed pig? What about my bone spider? Oh, right, you asked the fantasy question. So, there's actually several definitions for high fantasy and low fantasy. No, it's actually a toy, Minerva. This thing, Shade Scale. I have one for daytime, too, over here. If there's an add-on that does it, I am unaware of it. I don't know, off the top of my head. Like, I'm pretty sure the Shade Scale was a rare drop in BFA. I have no idea where I got the sun thing. I suggest Wowhead. Because I've heard several different definitions of high fantasy and low fantasy and all those other things, so... It depends on your definition. I can't answer the question if I don't know the definition of the answers I'm giving. There's another cursed pig. Cursed pig. Yeah, let's go, my cursed pig. Shade Scale, one word, and jar of sun-warmed sand. So, for the longest time, I've sort of automatically assumed that the high or low fantasy refers to the scale of the fantasy in the work. For example, a setting that is almost entirely more believable and grounded, but happens to have one minor magical addition to it, that would be low fantasy. Whereas a setting which has tons and tons and tons of fantastical elements within it, that would be high fantasy. By those definitions, Warcraft would be extremely high fantasy. There is a tremendous amount of fantasy, and it's not just present, it's built into the very bones of the setting, right? There's no getting away with it. It's an everyday thing. Have this level of fantasy. To use contrast, the show Arcane, Season 1, would qualify then as low fantasy. Yeah, Lord of the Rings would be a good example of low fantasy as well, to continue the definition. Whoa there. Let's go around the running rapids. And yeah, Final Fantasy XIV would be another good example of very high fantasy. In fact, as I've said several times, FF14 is more fantasy than Warcraft. I stand by that, too. But, the official literary definitions of high fantasy and low fantasy are so irrelevant to the point where I try not to even use them because they're basically meaningless. So, high fantasy is a subgenre of fantasy defined by the epic nature of its setting or the epic stature of its characters, themes, or plot. High fantasy is set in an alternate and a fictional world rather than the real or primary world. Secondary world is usually inconsistent, but its rules differ from the primary world. In contrast, low fantasy is being set on Earth, and it's a rational or similar fictional world with the inclusion of some magical elements. No. Not funny. So, to use my definitions of high fantasy and low fantasy, I would go ahead and say... So, sorry, what was your original question, Mr. Floyd? You asked something about Warcraft drifting from high to low or low to high or something like that. I don't actually remember what the question was, I'm sorry.
Ha! And here we are, fighting back. Even their leader is withdrawing from the field.
Oh, whoops, gotta turn this in. Well, either way, I would say no. Warcraft is and continues to be a very high fantasy setting. Even if we go ahead and eject the Shadowlands from existence, which all accounts seem to conclude that, yeah, the Shadowlands don't exist anymore, this is still a fairly high fantasy setting. By the way, Blade Devel, if you think this is too high fantasy, we haven't gotten to Shadowlands yet.
Clear for action.
Not bad, Marine. Might make a proper soldier out of you yet. They'll make Colonel Waycrest a lord for this, I'm sure. Your bravery will be remembered.
She's right. They did make Aram Waycrest a lord for his victory here. Well met, champion. Remain steadfast.
Oh yeah, like Game of Thrones, by the textbook definition, would then be low fantasy.
This is clearly Gorak Tull, their greatest leader. He is leading a ritual to create the stone constructs. The constructs began to take the field. He'd run out of living warriors, so he created a new army. But what empowered the stones? Interesting. I hadn't realized the constructs came later, as part of his desperation to win. This isn't Drust. It's a Kultiran carving over a Drust monolith. That's Lord Aram Waycrest when he was just a colonel leading the final assault. And there, that is Gorak Tull being stabbed by Waycrest.
Second time we've heard that name.
Always say Lord Aram killed Gorak Tull, and his army fell thereafter. But here you can see all his constructs shattering as he's stabbed and his power broken. There was some connection. We shall drive back the darkness.
I know, right, Tyr? Gorak Tull's death shattered his army. The carvings here show that, but did Gorak Tull actually die?
Farewell.
I believe I see more carvings at the entrance to the cave river. Come, let's see what else was left behind.
Strike true. Another stele. This one also shows Gorak Tull. It is after the battle, but Tull isn't shown dead. Wounded and broken, but not dead. Gorak Tull did not survive. Witnesses wrote of his defeat.
Your ancestors were fools, as are you. The Kultiran plague will be cleansed, and we will retake our lands. But you will not live to see that day. Arise, Guardian, and slay these trespassers!
Done. Oh, you meant him.
How might I help?
The carvings would have been Drust propaganda stating he lived, but that voice seemed to have been mistaken about going the ultimate fate of Gorok Tull. I shudder to think what he might be planning now. Probably something evil, as a guess.
Remain steadfast.
Our time here was well spent. The guards in Aramstand can handle what few Drust forces remain. I suspect the Drust leader and his party might have some greater part to play here. However, we must continue the mission to Falconhurst. The path is on the far west of the site. I'll ride ahead, meet you outside of town.
Strike true. I will do some scouting and meet you further down the path.
I do also agree that the very concept of high-low fantasy is obviously a gradient. It's not a binary kind of a thing. Whoop. Hey, more thorn speakers.
State your business.
Be wary. Dangers lurk nearby. One such creature, Greenstalker, used to be an ally. In his corrupted and mindless rage, he nearly killed my brother and I while we were trying to help someone in the wilds. There's something which might help, but I must tend to my brother's wounds. Please go to the mountainside and pick some saplings for me.
Be wary of unfamiliar faces.
You got it. I need to show that off to Evo. I think she'll like it. I mean, for me, and I am speaking solely for my own personal sake, definitions are not intended to perfectly define. Categorization is something I legitimately believe in as a concept, but if we actually wanted to sit down and come on, and come up with, for example, a genre name that exactly fit every game out there, we would have thousands of genres. I mean, I don't know, I've seen some really I've seen some really badly programmed games out there on Earth, so it's possible there's some game out there that is just really, really, really badly programmed, such that a controller would actually affect the graphics. I have not encountered such a thing myself. Oh god, that was Mirror Star stabbing me! Oh god, and so was getting scalped. Oh, why? But hang on, is that a knife, or is that a dagger? Is that a sheath? Is that a shiv? We need to define what kind of metal blade you're stabbing with. Wait, is that metal? What kind of metal is that? Honestly, no. Probably not Linear Earth. The game is too well coded. Me, apparently, Dragon Player. Yep, I'm categorizing. We must categorize everything. Ugh. What genre of film is Star Wars? Ugh. I will say there's one thing I disagree with most people who use genres. Yes, it's an extremely well-designed evil trap. Like a casino. That is the idea that there can never be new genres, which is really dumb. I myself have actually gone out of my way to say, to acknowledge genres such as a Zelda game is an appropriate genre, I think. Obviously, there's Metroidvanias. That one finally gained a little bit of broad support, but then there's things like Souls-likes. But I've heard people fervently argue that, no, you can't add genres. And it's like...
Any rumors on the wind?
Thank you for returning quickly. These are new growth, full of potent life-giving energy. and a necessary sacrifice to cleanse corruption.
Dabble not in the...
The mighty wolf Greenstalker was once a protector of these forests. He has fallen to the sway of dark forces. My brother and I have attempted to calm his spirit, but he is too far gone. Use the charm to weaken him. Please end his suffering.
Steady on ahead.
Okay. Speaking of which, it's called a run and gun. Death to culture. Regressives. Sorry. I forgot to do it. I forgot to call her attention to it again. Sorry, Evo. It's part of my regular rotation here. Be free. Oh. Yep, they're all... I'm fine with calling something a new genre. But I will literally never call something a... Oh, it's...
Lifebinder be with you.
A red dragon. So... One moment. One second. Apparently she's in Dragonflight. I didn't know that. So... I'm having trouble finding the exact quote. For some reason. Ah, whatever. If you're a Death Knight, she is not happy with you for your actions back during Legion. However, she will eventually agree to allow your help in the quest we're about to do. Now, what's interesting is that after finishing the quest, you may then ask her for forgiveness, what you've done, or attempt to kill her. If you ask forgiveness, she says, you know, don't stray from the path. If you try to kill her, she knocks you back and then runs.
Keep your distance, Mainlander.
Our fire cleanses.
The Thorn Speakers were assisting me, but they have troubles of their own. I came in search of a powerful dragon who fell in battle many centuries ago. Melting snows have revealed Vadicius's final resting place. My queen has tasked me with ensuring his body cannot be reanimated and enslaved. The ritual will require my full attention, and my druid friends aren't fit for combat. Watch my back.
Protect the flame.
I mean, she'd make a good mount. Stab. Correct, Linnerith. During the recent war with the Legion, one of our own was raised as an undead creature. To find his resting place, the Death Lord invaded the Ruby Sanctum. We do not wish a repeat of those terrible events. Why not? This is what remains of Vadicius. He was once a mighty dragon. To kill him would have taken something dark and powerful indeed. In case you're wondering, the exact quote she would have said there. You know me? We do, Death Lord. We know it was you who assaulted our sanctum. We know it was you who corrupted and enslaved Kiranistras. Those are offenses against life that'll be answered for, one day. I spared what lives I could. Which, if you remember, we did. Her expression eases slightly. That did also not go unnoticed. My people are few and life is precious. Does not excuse the offense against my flight, but we acknowledge and appreciate your restraint. For being such as you, it could not have been easy. Or you can say, your people are weak and we're nearly dead anyways. I just ended your suffering more swiftly if you killed them all. To which she says, "You are a monster in Arthas' own image. When the final death comes for you, I hope it will go slowly, tortured by the pain and suffering you had inflicted on others. When all the world was engaged in greater matters, you rode across the planet, dragging the dead into cursed on life. I'm sure you told yourself it was for the greater good, but mark my word, there will be consequences." Interesting.
Alexstrasza sees you.
So let's go ahead and cleanse this poor dragon. And there comes a Death Knight. Well, 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 what do we have here? 2 dragons, what a surprise, though the living one is puny. A knight as splendid as myself should only have the best mount. I believe I'll stick with the original plan and proceed with the ancient one. Ugh, if you'd rather do this the hard way, then so be it. Okay, you paying attention, Evo? Are you paying attention? Here it comes. Here it comes. The sound is what kills it for me the most. Ah. I throw a giant stuffed animal at him. I survived the Lich King, only to be taken up by the likes of you. Yup.
Holf Aldanshi. Go with life.
So this is just kind of a minor, almost nothing burger quest. Because really, this quest is here for Death Knights. Ahem. So when he shows up, he says, "Ah, Death Lord, this is a surprise. I am following in your footsteps. Are you here to assist me? I see you brought a gift." The drake is still a bit small and still living. Hardly the largest obstacle. But I had my sights set on the ancient beast of bone behind you, so if you do not mind, I'll be claiming what is mine. So, So, you go ahead and kill him, and she says, "I will not pretend to understand your motives, but I appreciate you striking down another Death Knight." Then you could talk to her. And she says, you can either choose, "I hope my actions have earned some trust," in which case she says, "The greatest step one can take is the next one. Keep on this path." Or you can say, "It seems I missed a few dragons in the Ruby Shrine." And you draw your sword to kill her, at which point she transforms into said dragon and screams, "You show your true colors, Death Lord. Be gone from this death site." And gets up and does her thing. What did she end up deciding? Okay. Here you can navigate it. But... Yep. Okay. BFA and side quest, am I right? Would that be an impossible burger, Yura?
Over here.
You killed a lot.
Well met, champion.
No, as you can tell, because I just did the quest as a hunter, Lunaruth. It still has a Death Knight version, but it is also a generic side quest.
Fair winds.
The town is overrun. The guards have fallen back, and what is worse, some of the villagers have been twisted by the witch's magic. They're little more than wretched beasts, blindly following orders. Must release these poor souls and slay the monsters that twisted them.
Be wary of the woods. I'll help reinforce the village's defenses. I will meet you there.
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
As much as I do not like to admit anything positive in BFA because it's actually Hitler in video game disguise, no, quests in BFA are actually pretty solid, at least the non-war campaign quests. I'm not even being facetious about that. That's not my memory speaking. If you remember earlier today, we did the Zoldazar war quests, and those were noticeably worse than everything else we've been doing. I need to write down some thoughts while I'm thinking about it. Do I have atmosphere? I do. I have music direction. Yep. Oh my god, it's an evil witch! Well, don't worry. Tomorrow we'll do what I personally, by memory, consider to be the worst zone in the Alliance zones. Although I might not have enough time to finish Drustvar tonight. I don't know. We've got this arc, and then the finale of the MSQ, which is Core Lane, and then Waycrest. But I think, well, we probably won't do any dungeons today. We might do dungeons tomorrow. We'll see. I'd like to be 67 before I actually attempt the dungeons. It's funny. I remember Stormsong quite negatively. And then there's Brother Pike, I believe his name is. Enough said. Brother Pike is awesome. If I'm getting the name right. If I'm wrong, then he suddenly switches to being terrible.
Don't get many travelers here.
Yeah, the knife chain.
You mind your business, and I'll mind mine.
I am freeing you, lady. Well, then free me. That's your business. I am assuredly thinking of Stormsong more negatively than I probably should. I don't think it's going to review that badly. But it was the exact moment BFA lost me. As I mentioned earlier. As a reminder, I did Stormsong first last time. Unfortunately, I lost Toothor, so I can't ask him the question I was going to ask earlier. That's okay. He bailed, as all people should. Ironically, what I remember as the worst cutscene in BFA is also in Stormsong, although very unrelated to that chain. It's actually a horde quest.
New information. Farewell.
Well done, you've thinned their
Fair
numbers.
winds and following seas.
They're rallying for a heavy assault. We need to defend the barricades. Are you with me? Yeah.
We shall drive back the
Wouldn't
dust.
I be?
My pets. Rip them apart.
I believe that's also when we interact with Rexar, and he gives his absolutely terrible reasoning for deciding to join Sylvanas.
My demolisher.
Whoa, that's big. And has a bunch of skulls in its chest. Okay. Do I have to? Okay.
Minor inconvenience. Once my forces regroup.
Who's talking over her?
Stand strong.
What witch? She must be one guiding these attacks. Yeah. We've given the defenders some breathing room, but these creatures continue to lay siege. The witch behind the attack fled from the field. I saw her go to the mansion on the hill. I will keep the defenses going down here. You must go and slay her.
Strike true.
Sid poked his head in. Yep.
He comes.
Hello there.
Wouldn't be able to hold out much longer, and you saved us all.
Fair winds and following sea.
Oh, God.
You're looking for Ashton. Walk with me. I haven't seen him, but I did see his apprentice. We cannot thank you enough for showing up when you did, Lieutenant.
Uthor! Uthor! And he's gone.
My title is Inquisitor now, Mayor. Lady Lucille has reforged the Order of Embers to combat these witches.
She has? I thought they were just a legend.
They were real. They are real. Lady Lucille is determined to take back our lands and our people.
If she does that, she'll have my full support.
Master Ashton had me grab some healing supplies and run to Mayor Royston when those things attacked the town. He didn't make it behind the barricade. If he's alive, and he's just crazy enough he might be, he'd probably hold up at his cottage with caustic compounds and explosives. Look, why don't you go check his basement? I'll stay out of the the garden. Try not to look flammable.
The attack on Falconhurst was fierce. I hope Master Ashton is still alive.
If anyone could survive, it's him. I'm going to check the lab's gardens, Inquisitor.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Uthor, for Christ's sakes. I know you're ignoring me because you hate me, and that's okay. I understand. I accept your hate. I embrace it. For I deserve it. I legitimately wanted to ask you something. You were talking about, earlier when we were talking about our potential post-Warcraft 3 rewrite state of the world, you mentioned you found it unreasonable to expect that people would join up. And I could see that, right? Especially on a long-term state. Obviously, in the immediacy against the Legion, sure. But then the dust settles, now what, right? What I was going to ask you is, from your perspective, anybody else can jump on this question if they want to. Assuming the intended end goal as a writer is for there to eventually be some kind of confederation or league or something, some kind of union of the Kalimdor forces, when do you think would be like the biggest chakunk moment where people would start being a lot more willing to do that? Because that's something I've been chewing on. So Grey Wolf's answer is the second Lich King. Huthor's is Fandral. Okay, I'm listening, I'm listening. Let me get this set up here. Please forgive my timing. I mean, I still like the idea of the Naga burning Teldrassil, but that's kind of way far down the chain. I don't want to commit to something that far along the dominoes.
Daddy says I need my sea legs, but I already got 2 legs.
I was playing with Lord and Lady Sharptooth when Papa made me come with him. I dropped Lord Sharptooth and one of the big mean monsters grabbed him. Papa said he tried to get him back, but he's been gone a long time.
Anchors away!
Okay, that's awful. Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't have anything in mind for warlords. The only things I might do is the obvious. Again, it's the one change game, right? They're stuck on warlords, on Draenor until they find a way back. You know, the way the story frankly should have been to begin with. But that is ultimately a really minor change.
Stand back! I have alchemy, and I know how to use it!
At ease, Master Ashton. We're friendly.
Well, don't you both look dangerous? Ha! Is the attack over then?
A little bit.
Shall we get started? Until next time, friend.
I appreciate the help in liberating the town. I was becoming quite concerned by these strange monsters.
Remember,
I imagine the fires spread while I was down here, yes? First order of business, make sure the town doesn't burn down. Help solve that problem and offer for you to assist in whatever it is. Yeah, take these. They've proved a bit too intense for most people, but you seem like a stout sort. Okay, I'll go.
The town is in good hands. So, would you kindly explain what is going on?
Master Ashton, we have been sent by Lady Lucille Waycrest to find you.
So I gathered. But why me?
Lady Lucille has reforged the Order of Embers, using ancient texts as our guide. We will fight these witches as we once battled the Drust. She found an alchemical recipe that was effective in the past. She requests that you attempt to recreate the formula.
Lady Lucille thinks it might be useful, I assume? Well, let's see it. Fascinating. A remarkable formulation. Very flammable. Inquisitor, it will be my distinct pleasure to assist you and the Lady Lucille in this task.
I am very glad to hear that, Master Ashton.
You put out those fires and I'll set out what we need in the lab.
Our champion will assist you in whatever you might need, Master. I will go see if I can't help Mayor Royston.
I want to stress that I in no way mean this as a negative thing, Huthor, but it sounds like you would want to kind of shuffle the story, the main plot around Garrosh over to Fandral. Which, to be clear, I actually love the idea of. Like, I could see Fandral... We could smooth it, right? It could be a nice, slow descent as he gets more and more and more extremist. In Garrosh's case, it was because he kept isolating everyone around him. We can do whatever we want to with Fandral, but the idea is he keeps pushing further and getting more stuck in his own head or in his own echo chamber. You know there would be Night Elven supremacists. Hell, there might even be Blood Elven supremacists. He might even be just Elven supremacist, which would explain why he reaches out to the Naga. Also, this is just a personal thing, but I kind of want the Naga to not be one uniform, they're bandits / Darkspawn thing. Can we do that? Fandral is a weirdly important character for the lore of the setting, considering how extraordinarily little screen time he has, which brings me to the answer to another question. Someone asked if we're changing anything about the War of the Shifting Sands. Obviously, some details might shuffle, but for the most part, no. I really like Fandral's character arc from that. It just makes so much sense for someone who is used to immortality mentally breaking at the thought that his son is dead. Like, I feel like that's one of those wounds that would fester in him mentally and get worse over time, right? He would never move on from that. He would never accept it. He would never get to the point where he would acknowledge that his son died and he lived. And every year, it would just be a little bit more of a needle there, right? Oh, hello. Hello. It makes perfect sense, frankly. While Fandral might be an extremist, I imagine several elves would think in a similar line to him. Can that crap get off the ground? Thank you. Jeez, gross. And there's her dad who went to get him. Wow, that's awful. Yeah, he was always sus, even all the way back in vanilla. They just didn't do anything with it, like so many other plot arcs in vanilla. Like, even in vanilla, it was like, hi, I want you to go and, like, examine this weird weed for me. Doomweed or whatever the hell it was. And if you took it to someone else, they were like, wow, this stuff is messed up. I don't know what the Archdruid wants with this, but this is terrifying. And that was all the way back in vanilla. This town on fire.
I hope you're ready to work. Farewell.
I mean, it was 20 years ago. 20 years is not a small period of time. I do like the idea that in vanilla there is a... not an alliance, not a league, not a confederacy, but... I mean a peace. I don't have a better word for it. And a peace that's being encouraged by regular trade. And trade is doing what it usually does, encouraging cultural cross-pollination, right? Yeah, the Peace of Kalimdor. And I like the... I'm kind of trying to stitch some ideas together here, because I like the idea of Fandral being the elven Garrosh. I like the idea of some of the more extremist elements banding together to try and forge a new elven empire. No. No, wrong. Fandral doesn't want an empire. He's a druid. He doesn't want any empires. Hear me out. What if these people don't just want to kick all the non-elves off the continent? What if they want to get rid of this whole organized imperial civilization-y thing? Remember, several of these people were alive during the War of the Ancients. They know exactly what big, sprawling empires look like. They don't want the glory days back. Yeah, exactly, Huthor. They want to shift more towards just a legitimate form of anarchy. Yeah, the nation run by nature and the spirits. Doing whatever the hell we want to, wherever the hell we want to do it. And I feel like there would be enough Night Elves and Naga and High Elves who would support him in that. Who would enjoy the idea. Exactly. Like, we could really make him... Garrosh was very earn your keep or die. We could twist that a little bit to make Fandral be more survive or die. You know, if you endure such and such, if you live through such and such, you have proven your worth as a living being. Fail to do so, and all you are is another lost statistic. Exactly, survival of the fittest.
We could use your help here in Drustvar.
I like that.
Good luck.
Thanks. It's going to turn into the kids' toy. By the way, further evidence of what I was talking about, Huthor, look at how much of the bonus objective we've accomplished here by doing multiple quests in this area. If you can't read that, that says 36%.
Clear of sirens. Stay warm.
I mean, barrow dens are caves. Moonwells are a collection of rocks. I can actually hear him saying that, right? 100%, Magister. I guarantee you that there would be people... Primalist, I like that word, Grey Wolf. I guarantee you that there would be people who are joining his side, who are doing so because they see this as an opportunity to make a new Elven Empire. You know, they're just opportunistically siding up with him to kick the other races off the continent. I think you're right, Uthor. And I think you're right. Point being, I still think it probably deserves the same general negative that we gave Legion. We'll see how that handles in Shadowlands. I don't even remember the bonus objectives in Shadowlands.
It's a fine day for a little applied alchemy. Fair winds.
I've been studying this parchment Lady Lucille sent with you and translated to some of the older language. They call it liquid fire, and it was used to burn away the Drust. Using this as a basis, I believe we can adapt it to our needs. It's a complex recipe, but it happens I have everything we need to make this potent alchemical weapon.
Remember?
Oh god, it's one of these quests. It's one of these quests. I know, Grey Wolf. And they're dumb, but I stand by my statement. It's a good word to describe what we're going with here. I have everything I actually want right now. Let's grab... God, I don't know. That.
What challenges await us today, friend?
Oh god, where's the sulfur? Where's the sulfur? Where's the sulfur? There it is. I actually, maybe this is just me being idealistic, but I think that in an anti-Fandral campaign, the Sentinels and the Orcs of Orgrimmar would find, you know, common bonds on the battlefield, for lack of a better way to put that. I mean, both of them have, in the broadest sense of the word, very warrior culture, very Amazon, barbarian, living off the wilds, rough terrain, you get it. Excellent. Should be able to use this against those wooden creatures, but don't spill it.
It's a fine day for a little applied alchemy.
Now we have these lovely liquid fire clasps prepared to have one last thing to do. Test them out. There's some of those large abominations lurking about in the woods above my home. I think they would make suitable test subjects, don't you think?
Fair winds to you.
Well, so one other thing... Actually, yeah, I can excal. One other thing I like about the idea of using Fandral in the same general sense is something that isn't really emphasized in the game itself, but is 100% true in the narrative is most of the, for lack of a better word to use, evil orcs... You know, good old days orcs all died during the purge of Garrosh. He more or less ensured that by dragging so many of them to his side. Same concept, right? It's kind of an unintentional filter of, you know, the baggage. We could all even use this as a way to really start doing something with the fricking Naga, too. Especially if we go with the idea that the Naga are not mentally bound to Ashara. Although I'm not decided on that yet. Yeah, admittedly, our Tyrande has already basically jumped full-fledged into my mind. I don't even know where the idea came from, but... Like, imagine Wonder Woman when she's written well and you've kind of got the direction I'm going in. Not what I would call fully good. She's definitely on the warmongery side of things. But at the same time, you see the general twist from someone who is purely a jackass like Garrosh to someone who is more very willing to take up the spear kind of a thing. Yeah, a Justice Lord kind of a thing. Definitely someone who would be more an ally than an enemy, but
tried my best to fight them off.
She's no Rainer. What,
They came from the woods. We fought. Master Ashton shoved me aside and they took him. We have to get him back.
Okay, okay.
We will get him back. Just sit.
Can everything just stay fixed for like 5 seconds, please?
You probably have things you should be doing.
It's 5 seconds, that's all I'm asking.
How might I help?
Master Ashton be taken into the forest. He isn't the only one. Mayor Royston's head count came up short. So their next steps are clear. Into the woods and save Master Ashton.
Remain steadfast.
And I do like the idea that Fandral ends up being so extremist that he pushes Tyrande to Varrock, for lack of a better way to put that. Trees.
We shall drive back the darkness.
I believe I see Master Ashton in a cage. He must be freed. Okay.
Be wary of the woods.
Love the skinny human model. Can we see more of this, please? Master Ashton's going to be needing something bracing when we free him. I know a quick potion guaranteed to snap him out of it, but I'm going to need a few things first.
Do try not to die.
Ugh. Thank you, French philosopher, for killing me. I always knew. Dealer's Choice and Resident Evil block. You got it. Now, the funny thing is, I've been thinking about this. We probably want an essentially completely detached story arc from whatever the hell's going on in the Eastern Kingdoms. Like, obviously, WoW was shackled with the baggage of 2 continents in terms of content, but we have no such difficulties to deal with. So we can actually show that the distance between the 2 continents is actually huge, as it should be. In other words, huge means unconnected. Obviously, there's trade routes, there's ships, but we're probably still in the era where a trip from the Eastern Kingdoms to Kalimdor takes months. Portals are difficult and costly and can't be set up for large-scale transit, so those are for emergencies. So, mostly segregated, right? Yeah, so you see why I'm bringing this up, because obviously we have the Forsaken, which, I mean, yeah, we're probably gonna keep the Forsaken. And there's also the Blood Elves, who, regardless of the existence or presence of Garithos, have definitely been taking it in the pants. What are you doing, ma'am?
Hey, let me out of here.
I need to get out here and get back to Falconhurst. My husband and I were looking for my daughter's favorite toy. Oh my god. Oh my god. So you remember the kid who we saved her toy from the monster? Well, her dad died, but they apparently captured the mother, which is
the coven
her.
Will fall.
Oop.
I need a moment.
The things I've seen. The horror. The horror.
It's fine. It's fine. Take your time. And yeah, Theramore being New York, for lack of a better word for it, makes a lot of sense to me. I'm being a little bit dismissive, so let me try to explain this a little bit better. The trip across the Atlantic was a big freaking trip. It was a big freaking deal, and it wasn't the kind of thing you just do casually. But it was the kind of thing that was done constantly. There was a more or less stream of ships going back and forth across the pond all the time, right? But the point is, even that's it. Like, a new ship shows up every week or two, and that's your connection to the other continent. So all news, personnel, resources, all of that is months separated from whatever's going on in the Eastern Kingdoms. Make sense? So it's not like they're not completely detached. They're just, you know, functionally detached. He does have that chin off the deep red. Whoa! There's mud in your eye. Yeah, not easy, not impossible. We need to hit a sweet spot there. Oh god, Kultirans. Of course we'll help you out, Jaina. Where's Dalen? So the Draenei. Now here's something funny. This doesn't come up too often in a rewrite, but we can move stuff wherever we want to. And the Azure Islands don't have to be anywhere. They're islands. We could move them anywhere. So it's completely up to us where the Draenei land, is really what that boils down to. I don't have an answer for you off the top of my head, but my point is that could be a decision rather than a guarantee. Not a bad idea, Magister. I also like what someone mentioned earlier. I think that was Kira White Noise. Might have been his Mirror Star. Someone mentioned the idea that, you know, the Eastern Kingdoms are predominantly recovering from the Scourge. Which, yeah. As mentioned before, that's probably some culture-altering level stuff. Oh, sure, the demonic horde, but no, for real, the Scourge. The Scourge just came rampaging through there in an extraordinarily short period of time. Ah, but there's the value as a writer, Lord Hermon. You don't have to immediately pay off a plot thread. You can have a ticking bomb going off in the background for a while. Imagine if the Draenei land on the Eastern Kingdoms and tend to get along pretty well with everybody. They form alliances, they tend to get together, then they reach out to the Kalimdor League at some point, probably some completely coincidental, incidental trade mission. And then all of a sudden the Night Elves are screaming about the Eridar, and the Draenei are screaming about the Orcs. Spark.
My blade is ready.
Pretty much, Logue. Even in canon, the Scourge put the demonic horde to shame.
It worries me when you show up.
Thanks.
Much to do.
Glory to House Waycrest.
I am sorry they took your husband from you, but your daughter is safe in town. Be careful heading back.
Thank you. I'm sorry I can't stay. Don't worry, they won't get me twice.
Oh no.
Narrator. They got her twice. Now to mix this up. There you go. It'll taste worse than it smells, but it'll bring him to his senses.
Do try not to die.
Until next time, friend.
Here, have a drink.
Master Ashton, are you back with us?
Oh, I believe so. Thank you, Martin. Shall we get started?
Oh, I say. A little less Hearthbloom next time, Martin, but that did just the trick. Well done, both of you.
Fair winds to you.
We need to go deeper. The witches are clearly up to something even worse than I'd imagined. As much as I have a duty to return to Lady Lucille with Master Ashton, I also have a duty to the people. Going further into the forest is not worth the risk, but I believe it is one worth taking.
Strike true.
It's not without risk, excuse me.
Master Ashton, will you see this to the end?
I will indeed. Martin and I shall stay.
Fantastic.
There seemed to be a great deal of activity at the ruins near the giant tree.
Then we shall meet our friend there. Good luck, champion. Stay close, gentlemen, and we'll sneak through the witches' lines.
The witches spoke of a grand rite to call forth their master.
Their master?
A malevolent being who grants them power. I have heard his rage echoing in the darkness. Their master hates the Kultirans with every fiber of his being. Even the witches are mere pawns in his bid to return to our realm. Based on what I overheard while held captive, I suspect this entity is connected to the Drust.
Not just any Drust. Their leader, I would wager. The being Aaron Waycrest fought against in ages past.
A millennia-old spirit bent on vengeance who wants to kill us all. Lovely.
We must stop this grand rite at all costs.
I'm with her. The cackling witch, not the stopping him at all costs.
New information?
By my ancestors' anchors, that is a large army. At least it doesn't appear to be mobile yet, and the tree is clearly the focus of their efforts.
Farewell. Remain steadfast. Fair winds and following seas.
Unfortunately, it looks like I've run out of time. I was really hoping to finish Drustvar today. I do apologize. The good news is we're basically done. We've probably got like another hour for the entire zone, which we will end up doing tomorrow.